Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men in power want? More power.
My name is luca-zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom. I am in shock. I really do. You know, normally I don't start the show like this. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on KTOX 1340 AM. I tell you, today's Sunday. I thought sometimes we reach the bottom. I don't really believe the bottom is going to ever be reached. This is an endless bottom of tyranny. I really want you to listen to the 3 hours of today's show, please. What can I say? First of all, I'd like to start with some good news because, you know, we have to look positive. The breaking news of this week is that the Bundys and all the other volunteers and activists, they were persecuted, arrested, and detained, in my opinion, in prison without even bail, okay? Spent already probably almost 1 year, 8 months or 7 months in prison. They were found, in all counts, not guilty. And we will talk now more into details about that, what means. And there is much more coming on. I also have my friend Ken Rhoades from Michigan that is going to share some of his input. And I need I need somebody really, because I'm losing my mind here. Sometimes when I look at this all by myself, I go crazy. And I'm telling you, it is true. And I really want that you don't miss today the final hour of the show. It is unbelievable, but yes, it is believable. In America now, you will be put in jail before even you commit a crime. And of course, we're talking about not even crimes. We're talking about selective enforcement of immigration law. Just listen to the final hour. My friend from Norway, Renzo Celani, he will tell us his nightmare experience coming from Norway to be here at a convention, some sort of a beautiful meeting where they can talk about things that they believe. In this case, what he believes that body can heal. Yes, can you believe that? But guess what? Probably you are an enemy of this state now. If you believe in something like that and you come here to attend the conference without a visa. I mean, yes, the touristic visa is not enough. But meanwhile, we know the double standard. If you come from across the border, whatever border, southern border, if you come maybe from Syria without any type of passport, Obama will take care of you. But if you're a new European and you want to do, you know, just some basic things, even if you come with a passport and a regular visa, you know, they will throw the book at you. Meanwhile, they'll treat you like a prisoner, bad, hardcore prisoner. You have to watch the photo, by the way. Go to lovegunsfreedom.com, and you will also look at his treated like with a chain and the around his belly and the freaking handcuffs. I mean, like a real bad criminal. Now, let's start today's show. I'm disturbed because at the same time I want to have hope. There is a little conflict to me. I have moments that I really lose it. I say, how can we keep really living in a country where there is no more the rule of law and it's on the open? I mean, this is a banana republic. When you look now into this WikiLeaks and you find about Hillary and you find about Obama, you find all these different politicians that completely, they break every law on the book. Forget about the Constitution. I'm talking about criminal laws. I mean, this is so unbelievable. And by the way, when I say forget about the Constitution, it's a sarcastic way. Okay, I don't say forget. The Constitution is first, should be first. But these people, they don't care. They're perfect, pure criminals. Okay, now the point is, there is a little hope. Seems like the last few days, finally, the FBI somehow reopening the case. Is this part of try to keep us peaceful till the elections? Another deception? Or maybe there is still some hope in this agency? I'm not saying that every agent in this FBI is bad. No, I'm sure there are some decent people out there. The problem that the top level, the real leaders, the real, position of powers, the chief, they're all corrupted. The FBI director is a piece of scum. I hope he can hear me. I don't care. You want to arrest me? Go ahead. You are a piece of trash to go in front of Congress and completely laugh at our laws and selectively enforce the laws. Because, the other general, is risking his ass in jail for much less things than what Hillary is done. And allegedly done, because at that point, I always believe that everybody deserves the trial, but at the same time, at least let's press some charges and let's give the chance to justice to work. Like somehow, this time, thank God, and thank to the American people that they were serving as the jurors, the system worked. So the people in Oregon, that they were all labeled as terrorists, they all labeled so seriously dangerous, they didn't even have a chance to have the basic rights that even a child molester has, okay? Or a bank robber, they give you the opportunity to post bail. These people, they are not even violent. Most of them, they had no criminal records at all. I think probably all of them. So the point is, they were denied even the right to defend themselves from out of jail, to keep their families together, to still have a life, to still see their families, to still keep their work going. No, they were denied their right. That's right there. It's so disgusting. But at the same time, thank God, and now we will go into more details with my friend Ken, that all the charges for the Bundys family and, of course, all the other volunteers, activists that were there, they were dropped. Not dropped. They won the case. Okay, forget about that. They didn't drop anything. Sorry about that. I'm confused. So, they were innocent. That's the story. Now, Fabio Minoggio, also called John Killman, this FBI informant that I talk about last Sunday show. I feel sorry for you, my friend. I really do. How do you feel today that you were part of a conspiracy against the American people to really throw their ass in jail for a long, long time? When I think you know, and you knew, you're not an idiot. You are a smart guy. You speak several languages. You have degrees. You knew that these people, they weren't bad guys. They may be misled. They may be sometimes a little naive. They may be farmers. They may be not that smart, whatever you want to say, but they're not bad guys. They weren't the sort of a terrorist, violent people. They were just trying to exercise the basic rights to read out loud the Constitution and remind to the federal government, to the rest of America, that the federal government, according to the Constitution, has no right to claim millions and millions of acres of jurisdiction. Okay? But the point, you were part of the plan to try to make them spend a long time in jail. And you were there as a witness just a couple of weeks ago at that trial. How do you feel today? That also you chose the wrong side of history. But more important, I felt sorry for you because there is a man between all this who got murdered. I mean, not only these people spent 7-8 months in prison and probably they got a lot of bills to pay, and maybe they lost their homes, and maybe some of their family members completely disrupted and shocked, especially kids, sons and daughters, thinking about to have, your parent in prison. It is not really good for your emotional development. But think about also Lavoy Finicum, who never had a chance to even to have the day in court. How can you live the rest of your life knowing this, that you were part of it? You told me you were the last one to leave the compound when they locked the gates behind you. Until you were lying to me, by the way. I knew you were. I didn't, of course, have all the evidence I could say for sure out loud, but I knew. I knew the day I met you, I told you. That took you 7 years or more to finally come out. It was about time. But as I said, I'm not even any type of, let's say, anger against you. I feel pity for you. You have to live the rest of your life knowing that good men and good women out there to try to exercise their American rights, to remind the government that it needs to obey to this contract called the U.S. Constitution, to constrain the government. It wasn't about constraining us. You try to entrap them. You try to put them in prison for a long time, and one of them also got murdered. I always have a question. By the way, you're always welcome on the show. I know you listen to the show, and you told me on text message, just after the Oregon article came out, everybody can go and Google it. Who is John Killman? OregonLive.com. Who is John Killman? Go check it out. You told me you wanted to be on my show, and I want you on my show if you still can, because I really believe I would like to give you your side of the story. Maybe something I'm missing. I'm not here to pass judgment. I'm nobody. But I tell you, I feel sorry for you. That's all I can say. And if you want, please, Mr. John Killman or Fabio, email me. You know how to reach me. You can call me. You got my phone number. and I'm sure my phone number is also under complete let's say, I know the beeps. I know when it beeps and what means when it beeps. I know very well. If I want to speak with you, probably some of your superiors, all I have to do is use my phone and talk to myself. All right, let's see here. Ken Rhoades from Michigan. Ken, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Ken.
Okay. First of all, how you doing, Ken? Number one important news. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing real good, Luca. I'm actually I went up to Portland, Oregon to testify for Pete, any of the rest of them that needed me.
Wow.
But then one day before the trial, they dropped all charges on Pete Santelli, but they did it without prejudice. That means they can bring the case back on him at any time.
Wow.
But then they selected the jury. Now altogether, Luca, they arrested 20-something people. 11 people took plea bargains out of there. And I'm wondering, they had 15 FBI informants inside the compound. So I'm wondering how many of those that they act like they took plea bargains when they really didn't. Maybe they were just informants and that was their way of getting them out and moving so nobody knew where they was at.
Yeah, this is.
But anyway,
you're right. No, let me ask you something. You're right. In the article on the Oregon Live, they said that besides John Killman or Fabio Minoggio, as the article talks, there were at least another 12 or 13 informants. I mean, that's ridiculous because I don't think there were more than 20 people in prison. I mean, there are more informants than accused. Am I right or wrong?
Well, I think the night they started arresting after they killed Lavoy Fennicum, after they murdered him, then they picked up I think it was 26. I'm not pretty close to that.
Yeah.
But then I'm wondering how many of those were informants.
Exactly.
And they said they cut a plea deal. That way they can get them on out of there and get them back working someplace else for them.
Wow.
Because the American public don't know where they went to. Those are some evil people that'll do what they did, go down there to inform on people, and all they was trying to do is be heard about what the government was doing about taking all the ranchers' land.
Exactly.
But let me explain to you, Luca, the first jury here, they selected a jury. I think they had 4 ultimates. They selected the jury. Then they tried 7 of them on the first leg. Now, no matter how the outcome come out, they're going to try I think it's 7 or 8 left. They're going to try them, but they're going to pick another jury and try them.
Wow.
Next. Okay, now the first 7, Luca, they came in, they got, the judge let them put an ex-BLM agent on the jury. And they tried to get him off, and she said, we discussed it with him. He said he could be non-partial, blah, blah, blah. So she left him on. Then he got in the jury room, and obviously they was all saying not guilty, and he said, I'm biased, I'm not gonna let him off without anything. So that was juror number 11. Now juror number 4 wrote a note, sent it to the judge, and said that this guy, they can't work with him. So are you still there?
Yeah, no, I'm listening. I'm shocked. They tried to put an ex-BLM agent among the jury. This is ridiculous. Like during the King George, that they put pretty much the judge is the King George. I mean, that's insane. Insane. Keep going, please.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked you that, my phone beeped, so I didn't know if it was.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's good. They're doing a nice recording of this conversation, just in case I miss one. The federal government has always a backup. Don't worry about that. Keep talking.
Okay, I'll get back on track here.
Go ahead.
Okay, so when the judge finally had to dismiss him off the jury, they had to put the trial, they had to put it off for one day till the guy, because he's coming from central Michigan, from Oregon. So they brought him back. They brought a new one in, swore him in, and the judge told him, you got to start the deliberations all over. Within 5 hours, they came out with a not guilty on everything.
Wow.
Except one charge against Ryan Bundy. Ryan Bundy, I was out there when they did. I was out there 37 days, so I know this case very well, Luca. They went up on a pole and took 3 cameras down that the FBI put out there trying to see who was coming and going.
Wow.
And they took the cameras down, so they charged him with theft of government property. That's the only thing that they didn't. I don't know if that was a hung or if they just left that one hanging there. So I don't really know what they can do, about that. That has to be a misdemeanor, I would think, anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the only charge that they didn't dismiss. On all the rest of them, all charges on all accounts. And that means the ones that are even in there with guns. It's not against the law to have a gun in Oregon. So they dropped, all the charges was dropped. Now, Mumford, the attorney for Alman Bundy, stood up and told the judge, you got to release these guys right now. Show me the papers you got that says you can hold them. She said, no, the U.S. Marshals they're going to take the rest of them down to Nevada. But there's one guy in there named David Fry. He didn't have any charges in Nevada. He said, you got to release him right now. And when he said that, 8 or 9 marshals jumped on him in the courtroom and put him to the ground and tased him several times.
Just because you spoke. I mean, this is, seriously, guys, listeners, regardless where you are on this issue, okay? Think about that. This could be applied to anything. Just because you talk to God in their court, maybe in a tone that they doesn't like. I don't even think that. The point, just because you're supposed not even to talk to God, in this case to the judge, about something that also is true. They tase you and they drop you down on the ground like a criminal. And more important, the rule of law. I mean, seriously, if these people that are not found not guilty and there is no other charges pending, there are no other charges pending, they need to be released immediately. And they should be said sorry to them many times because government stole months of their lives, money, emotions, torture. I mean, think about to be in prison is not a freaking Grand Hotel, okay? Go ahead, please.
Look, they stole over 8 months from these guys that just got found not guilty of all charges. Over 8 months.
Yeah.
And almost 9 months. Yeah. Now listen to this. David Fry should have been released right from the courtroom. They put handcuffs on him, and now it gets even worse. Now they took him back toward the jail and beat the hell out of him behind so where nobody could see it.
Who is this guy? Say again the name, please.
David Fry.
Okay, who exactly was one of the accused people, right? David Fry. What is his? Remind me a little bit. I forgot his name. I'm sorry. Who is this guy?
He was one of the defendants that got found not guilty of all charges.
Yeah, okay, he's a young guy. I remember that. He looks like a little bit Oriental guy with the eyeglasses. I remember him. David Fry. Yes. Absolutely,
and he's a very nice kid. I met him when I was out there. I met his mom and dad when I went to Washington for a march up there for Lavoie, the one they murdered.
Yes.
So this just keeps getting worse and worse. Now, my thing is that they got 7 or 8 more coming up for trial. Now, I think if they had a jury and they found all these people not guilty, I think their attorneys should be fighting, saying you got to release ours too, because if we'd had the same jury, they'd found the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Are you there?
Go ahead.
No, this is something out of the blue. The line got completely corrupted, but that's okay. This is true. This is true. But more important, trust me, they will try to even mess up with the jury. Trust me, the devil, he doesn't give up the fight. Okay? They may be kind of, they try. And the point you said before is very scary. Some of these people that they were in Oregon, like, for example, Ritzmeier, John Ritzmeier, they play the guilty, okay? Now, did they get screwed?
Right.
Did they get screwed? I mean, think about now, how do they feel now to know that the other people that they faced trial, they were found innocent? I mean, or maybe they were part of something more. I don't know, as you said. I don't think everybody's an informant, but at the same time, I think, can they go back to say, no, I changed my mind? That's terrible. These people, even when you plead guilty, they're going to make you plead guilty of something you didn't do, and your life is ruined. So I don't know. This is kind of disturbing. Go ahead.
Well, I think each one of them got no less than 6 years. And one guy, I think they gave one guy 10 years. Why would you plead guilty when you know you didn't do anything wrong for 10 years?
10
now,
years.
I talked to one of the attorneys up there, and he told me he thought he was going to come back as a hung jury. I won't say what his name was. He said, I think it's going to come back a hung jury. He said, boy, Ken, you know, they're going to offer these guys some sweet deals if that happens.
Yeah.
I said, let me tell you something. These guys ain't going to take no deal. You don't know that. He's all, after they've been there 8 months, they'll all be happy with time served and they plead guilty.
Yeah.
I said, you don't know these guys.
Yeah.
I said, they will not plead guilty. None, all the guys that's left, all the first ones that jumped off and took the plea deals, they're done and finished. You know, I ain't gonna call them cowards. They had to do what they felt was best for them. I would have never taken a plea deal. But now they took it and they must feel like hell now because they really use what I call jury nullification.
Yeah.
That's where, you know what that is, right?
Yes, but remind to the people, because, you know, it's always good to educate, and, you know, we never finish learning. Maybe there are good people out there that they say, what are you talking about? Maybe I'd like to know more. I mean, I don't expect that every one of us, somehow, we didn't know these things. Remind, please, what is a jury nullification?
That's if you go in, you sit on the jury, and even though if you think they're guilty, that you think it's an unjust crime or time for that crime, you just vote no, that they're not guilty. It's jury nullification. Everybody should look that up. It's very important that if we ever even bring these crub courts just back to that, that'd be a huge leap in our criminal system. Because if everybody knew that just because they're guilty, if you think the crime don't fit the bill, then you don't find them guilty.
Exactly. This is exactly the last line of defense against tyranny. The jurors have the right and the duty, in my opinion, to not just judge the accused, but also to judge the laws. Let's say tomorrow there is a law that says, you know, every firstborn in America must be circumcised. I don't know, whatever stupid law you may think, okay? And there is no crime. You know that nobody got killed or got harmed just because the government tells you, by the way, you must put a seatbelt. Who are you to tell me what should I put on my body? If I do not harm other people, I should be allowed to do what I want. But there is a law, you say. Guess what? Me as a juror, I can still say that law sucks. That's the simple explanation. So I can also judge the law, and it's our right. That's why this country is very unique. If we exercise all the opportunities, all these, let's say, check and balances that we have, you know, tyranny should never be able to flourish. But if we do not get involved, yes, we're all going to fail. That's very important. Please Google jury nullification. Inform yourself about that. This is one of the most important things. Now, according to an article that I found, occupier David Fry, released from jail, said, I'm really free. Is it finally David Fry out of jail or still somehow waiting to be released? What do you think?
No, he is out. He is out. Look, but look, let me explain. They had such. I get a little feedback. So they had a very corrupt judge in there before the prosecuting attorney could object to something. She would object to it and sustain it, and the jury got to and all this stuff that she was doing. I said, well, you know what? The jury's going to see through it. I mean, she was wanting to bury especially Alvin Bundy and Ryan Bundy. That's the two that they really wanted.
Okay, one second. Ken, 1 second only. I have a problem with the line here out of the blue. You know, when we talk about these things, everything gets crazy here. Let me try to recuperate a little bit of, see what's going on because the line is going down. Ken, now can you hear me better?
Yes, I can.
Okay, me too. I had to do a couple magic tricks here. Something's going on. Anyway, question. Okay, so Mr. Fry is out. Now, what about the other people that they were found not guilty, among those the Bundys brothers? Are they still in jail or being released? I would like to understand that.
You know, I think only Ryan Bundy and Alvin Bundy are still in jail because the rest of some of them, they did let a few of them out with the tether. Shauna Cox was let out, and I know a couple more that was let out, but they got found not guilty. But I think they're being charged in Nevada also. So anybody who's charged in Nevada that was in jail stayed in jail.
Wow.
Like I know Alvin and Ryan Bundy for sure.
Okay.
The rest of them, they were out with the tether on them. They did let a few of them out, not very many.
Okay.
Now in Nevada, they haven't let anybody out. Nobody's getting out. Here's Cliven Bundy, 70-something years old, and they won't even release him. This guy never did anything in his life but ranch and an honorable, very Christian Mormon guy.
Okay, and this is exactly my point, Ken. This is the point I would like to say to everybody out there. Even if you think the Bundys are a bunch of crazy and you don't like their beliefs, whatever. The point is, these people never had a criminal record. They don't have a criminal record, period. Now, some of them, also they're older. Some of them, also they really are nothing but, they deserve a bail. That's the bottom line. You don't throw somebody in prison for 8 months just because you don't like him. Because that's tomorrow can happen to you guys, to every one of us that, you may not like the law, supposed to be somehow some check and balances. That's why we have a Bill of Rights. That's all I'm saying right now. Of course, now we've proven, of course, that there was not even a crime. That's another story. How do you feel that all these, government worshipper that, they were so happy when Lafinicon was shot? How do you feel now? That you were thinking that, these people in Oregon, at the stand-up, they were so evil and criminals, they didn't break any freaking law. Simple as that. You should at least apologize to yourself, not to us. To yourself, because I tell you, people that they still support and allow this government to go out of control and always justify it. Your behavior, your cowardice, your hypocrisy. You're completely worship him like a serf. That's why we are in the state we are. You think you're part of the good old boys just because you work with BLM and you got maybe some hunting permits or whatever you do out there? Shame on you. And whoever's here can listen. The message is for you. Okay, seriously. Now.
Yes, okay.
Go ahead. I'm mad.
Luca, you talking about that one guy that was an informant there that you knew? What about Mark McConnell? Oh, he come back telling me a story the next day after they shot LaVoy that they had a right to shoot him, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, you shoot. He said, if I was an FBI agent, he come at me, I'd shoot him. I said, you shoot a guy with his hands up. If he come after me aggressively, I will.
Wow.
I said, well, I went right back in the room. And I told Dev Jordan, I said, he's working for the FBI. Come out in court the other day.
Yeah.
He's working for the FBI. He's the one that led him into the ambush.
Who is this guy?
He's the one that led.
Who is this guy? Give me the name again, please, and let me Google him.
Mark McConnell.
Mark. I like to have him on the show. Mark McConnell. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, let's see his face first of all. Okay, Bundy. Oh, I see his face. There we go. Okay. Interesting. The man who was driving Jeep before Amon Bundys. Oh, wow. How can he go to sleep at night, these people? How can they go to sleep at night, knowing what they were doing to American people, being accessories of these crimes against us? Video shows 2 cameras angle of a Finnegan shooting. Here we go. There's an article on always the Oregon Live. Mark McConnell, the driver of the Jeep that Amon Bundy was riding in before his arrest on January 26, was a government informant who was tipped off law enforcement about the occupation leader's trip out of the wildlife refuge. How many silver coins did they get paid, this bastard? I think they do it for free almost, just because they think they're important. Seriously. You think they got paid? I think they just probably get free donuts and maybe, a pack on their shoulder just to feel good about it. They are part of the club. I feel disgusting, really resentment towards these people. They are worse than traitors. They are really worms. Worms. My God.
Hey, Luca, he got the FBI agent that brought it. He announced his name, and he said he was paid $5,000. But you know what? What good is that money when you got blood on your hand?
Exactly. Say again. When you were saying the price tag, how much you got paid, out of the blue, the line cut down. This is so almost funny. How much?
They said $25,000.
Wow, $25,000. Pretty good chunk for a trader. They're pretty good. I mean, pretty disgusting, but wow. So wow, this is interesting.
But you still got blood on your hands, Luca, and what is blood? To me, that ain't worth $10 million. Ain't worth $100 million.
I was being sarcastic. These people don't understand, maybe they do. No money is enough to live in eternity with what you've done. I mean, seriously, your son and daughters, they look at you like you're a freaking traitor. How is it worth it? No money. And somebody died. You got blood on your hands. How do you feel about Lavoy Finicum, Mr. McConnell, Mark McConnell? Seriously, how do you feel about that? You know that the man was a peaceful guy. He may be naive, whatever you want to say, but he was peaceful, and he just raised his hands, and he was driving on the highway. That they had no business to do that. They wanted to arrest him. They could arrest them all at wherever they were going to, the next meeting or whatever. No, that was a complete ambush. Not only stopping him, but watch that video again. I hope whatever is going to be Mr. McConnell and all the other traitors that they were pretty much part of this conspiracy against us, against the American people. They need to watch that video where Mr. Lavoy Finicum was raising his hands and he got shot twice, in front and in the back. Not even a cow, not even a pig deserved to die like that. Not even a freaking poor animal. Seriously, I'm really mad now. I'm very disgusted. So really, guys, if you're listening to the show one day, you will. I know you will. I feel sorry and pity for you. Even I shouldn't, but I do. For your soul. Disgusting. And Mr. Minoggio Fabio, I'm sorry, we play somehow that we've been close to each other for many, many years. I don't know really how much I was part of your plans to be close to me. But I feel sorry for you, my dear friend. How do you feel to know you were part of this and you were proven wrong on top? And on top, you still have the man, Lavoy Finicum, and all his sons and daughters and wife, thinking about what you done indirectly because you were part of that group. Sorry. You cannot just say, I didn't pull the trigger. Unfortunately, when you are part of the group, you are part of that. I feel sorry for you. Seriously, I can't believe it. I'm feeling sorry for these bastards. Go ahead, Ken.
Well, look, the reason they wanted to kill Lavoy because he was actually the speaker, and they were going to John Day, and they had 400 people listen to hear him speak and talk about how the government's taking the land, it's unconstitutional, all that. So that was set up to kill him. There was no arrest out there. As a matter of fact, I think they wanted to kill them all. And Mark McConnell had a gun on him, and he had Almond Bundy in the car and a guy named Buddha. Yeah. I know you remember Buddha from the Bundy Ranch, right?
Yeah. Was there another informant too? Officially, I'm just curious because it's like a soap opera. All these names. What happened to Buddha? Is what got paid off to?
No, he actually. He took a plea deal to testify against the rest of them.
Okay. So it is...
So whether he is an informant or not, I don't know that. But he might as well have been if he's going to turn on and testify against people who took him in and treat him like a son.
Yeah.
I mean, they treated him like they did the rest of the sons out there at Bundy Ranch.
Oh, I remember that. I remember when he was there. He was always eating like a pig, by the way. Drinking, eating like a king. Okay, his belly was really a Buddha, and and all this big macho talk, like a special forces retired crap. He was so full of crap. And I'm sorry that the Bundys, they were so naive and so good to take in their home people that really have no idea. That's the only thing that always freaked me out about them. They were too nice and too naive. Just because somebody showed there and put an act, they trust them with their lives. That was always very concerning. But unfortunately, as I said, Buddha, you're going to live the rest of your life as a miserable rat that you are. And I hope I can see you one day because I'm going to tell you in face. And I'm not even going to get mad. I feel pity for you. You should really look at yourself in the mirror tonight and spit on the mirror 20 times without washing it. Because tomorrow you're going to spit yourself on the mirror again. So don't worry about washing it. And so, Mr. McConnell, I feel sorry for you guys. And everybody else out there. Now, question is, I want to play 1 second a little segment about the attorney, the lawyer of the Bundys, Mr. Marcus Mumford, that he was tased too. He was tased just because he was trying to say something to the judge. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
remind the people what happened.
He's one I told you, the Secret Service threw him to the ground in the courtroom and tased him several times.
Wow. Let me play this audio. Let me play this 1 second. This is a segment from the Oregon Live. I think it's worth to listen. A couple of minutes. Let's see.
So after the verdicts were read, the court said, hey, you're free to go, but the marshals might have something to say about it. So I said, well, if the marshals have something to say about it, let's see what orders they have. Let's see what papers they have that give them authority to take him into custody again. Otherwise, Mr. Bundy's a free man. And those marshals eventually moved in. And they had surrounded me at that point. And so I just turned to them and I said, guys, show me what papers you have. And the next thing I know, they surrounded me, they took a hold of me, and they were talking about how I was resisting arrest when I was simply, they just had a hold of me.
And then they put me. Your leg,
they put me to. They were twisting my legs and put me to the ground, and then they tased me.
How are you physically?
How was I physically?
How are you physically right now?
Well, I'm not a real good-looking guy. I've never been a real.
You know what I mean? No, but in terms of the force that they may have put on you.
I mean, hey! I grew up on a dairy farm, so am I used to some rough treatment? Sure.
Do you think they acted appropriately, the marshals?
Lawlessness.
Appropriate?
Okay, my point is, the point is just because he asked a question to the marshal, show me the paper, why these people that are found innocent by this court of law, they should be held, they tase him. And they put him on the ground like he was some sort of a criminal, This is insane. This is out of a 1984 movie. I don't even think they would put this stuff. What the heck? The point is true. The truth is that the system is controlled by the thugs. What is their excuse? Ken, what do you think? I cannot find any excuse on this one. This is that shows that they didn't get the result they wanted, like, under King George. So even if the jury says something that, that is true, but they don't want like the result, they will do whatever they want. They will keep you in jail, in prison, till they want. Go ahead. I'm in shock.
Absolutely. Look, they took him to jail. He had, I guess he bailed out because he was out there the next morning. Now, I don't know if he spent the whole night or if he bailed out right away.
My God.
But this is an attorney. This is one of them. But that's how they treat each other. If you don't go along try to help convict your client, you're not going to be very favorable to them.
Jesus.
Because you're up there protecting the system's money, and you're supposed to find your client guilty or get your client to plead out. So.
Wow. No, we
got a terrible system.
At least I don't want to sound like.
Go ahead, Luca.
I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself, but we have to. This is something that, whatever you're doing right now, listeners, this is a humble local radio show, and I know we reach now many more people through the internet and in other parts of the world. But I beg you, what's happening right now in history, in this country, but this is not just America, it's happening to around the world. It is something that we cannot become desensitized. We cannot just be cynical about it, because this is so important. Now you tell me, in the court of law, when we found people that were charged with a crime, they were found innocent. And I want you to start to put that in your brain. Just because an attorney, and this is a guy, he's a very peaceful guy. By the way, he's an attorney. He knows he's not some sort of a thug, okay? I cannot imagine any other way somebody who is part of the attorney board and all the stuff, he knows how to talk to a judge. He was asking a question. Please show me the paper why we should detain these innocent people. And you have 6, not even 1, 6 U.S. Marshals jumping on them like this is like, Jack the Ripper, like some sort of a violent criminal, and tase him. And then, you see what they do. They tase you, say, do not resist, do not resist. And what do you resist? I'm already on the freaking ground screaming. Guys, this is complete fascism. This is complete tyranny. There is no excuse. Even if you side with the idea that the BLM is supposed to control everything, if you still believe in the rule of law, if you believe in a little bit in justice and in due process, please stop whatever you're doing and think for a moment. We are under tyranny. We are so bad that it's not even funny to think about anymore. This is not a joke. This is nothing to laugh. And now at the same time, we have people like Hillary, who is running around still trying to become the next president, the most corrupted person that I ever found in American history. I mean, I like to study history. And I tell you, I don't think there has ever been so corrupted like this devil and her husband. And, this is beyond politics, people out there. Seriously, I don't care now if by the way, she's not even a communist. She's a freaking fascist. She works for Wall Street. She's a corporatist, New World Order whore. That's what she is. So you think that you're going to get your progressive agenda advanced. Wake up. And by the way, I'm not for that. I'm completely the opposite of that. But regardless, I would have more respect for you if you really think, she's a real socialist and, whatever. But probably before even we go into politics or socioeconomics, this woman belongs behind bars. Her and her husband. That's the fact. That's why I have no respect. I need to say it again. I have complete zero respect. If you vote for Hillary, it is not about differences of opinions or politics or socioeconomics. No, you're aiding and helping a criminal to become the next president. So you are my enemy, just to let you know. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to shake your hand. I don't even want to say hi to you. I have zero respect for you. And blood will be in your hands. Not just the American bloods like us, people like us, that we will refuse to obey to unconstitutional executive orders or any type of fascism come out of our mouth. Okay? No, beside that, millions of people, like in Syria, like in Libya, already being killed, innocent people. You have blood on their hands. So this is more than just an election, Ken. I really believe that. This is a test between good and evil. And I'm not even saying that Trump has all the answers. As I said, this is not about politics. This is about now we have a serious, corrupted criminal. If people vote for her, you put your signature under that sin. That's my opinion. I stand behind every word. So I'll give you the floor, Ken. Go ahead.
Okay, Luca, I'm going to have to, I don't know how long we've been on, but I'm going to have to let you take over because my phone's going dead here on me. I didn't have my charger with me.
Okay, listen, I thank you, first of all. And by the way, thank you for taking the time to go to Oregon, to follow in all these trials, to do all you do on your dime. You are a man that you right now is retired. You could spend all your time with your lady, with your family, just minding your business, and you take your savings, your Social Security, and you go out. And I really appreciate what you're doing. I'm so proud to call you my friend, and hope I'm your friend too. And I want to give you, of course, the opportunity to say your website, please. Go ahead.
Yes, it's gmnken.com. gmnken.com.
All right.
Really? Luke, I really appreciate you having me on today, and you have the rest of a good show.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Ken from Michigan. By the way, I met Ken. This is so amazing. I really believe things happen for a reason. The day of this famous Nevada historical day where the American people exercised their First Amendment in front of this agency called the BLM. 2013, April the 12th, okay? And Ken was with me. I was there as a reporter, and Ken was with me as an American person exercising his First Amendment. I still remember when he was bleeding out of his head. He fell. He fell because he was coming down from the highway, and there is this big slope going down to this area where there was the barricade of the BLM people, and of course the other side there were the American people. And Ken, he fell down, and he was bleeding, and he didn't stop. He kept going there. So I tell you, it's been amazing. This is an amazing journey. That's what really makes, for me, this American experience amazing. To become an American, it is not just something on paper. You got your passport. No. It's living and exercising the principles and the rights the people before us fought and died for, to give us this opportunity today. And the only idea was, these people died and fought for the revolutionary idea to all humans supposed to be equals, that we're supposed to have rights. The government cannot deprive us. And all we had to do was just to stand behind and maintain this great sacrifice they did. No, we didn't have to fight. We didn't have to bleed. We didn't have to kill anybody. All we had to do was just to stand up and say, no, you do not touch those. Guess what? We'll almost let them go. But I still believe there is hope. That's why we're here. That's why I believe people like the Bundys or other people out there, they try to do what you think is right, to remind to this generation and to America, and also more important to the freaking government, that the government works for us, and we have a constitution that we all supposed to obey. Okay? That's the idea, the supreme law of the land. All right, little break, and then we come back. We have more news, and we're going to have something very disturbing and disgusting. The United Nations now, they are coming, this is official, in North Dakota, to be the savior. They want to save us now. Guess what? I really believe this is another part of the plan. Problem, reaction, solution. Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca-zanna. Hey, you. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve a break. Enjoy a moment of indulgence. It's time for Zanna Coffee. Guilt-free pleasure. Zanna Coffee is the organic coffee to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Only the best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world that I selected. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade certified, sustainable organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Get your coffee bag now. Don't be cheap. Life is too short, and you deserve the best. Zanna Coffee. Here we go. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca-zanna. This is the second part of the first hour. I had with me Ken Rhoades from Michigan, that, is not only a friend, but also is a great activist, and he is an eyewitness, not only on what happened there in Oregon, and of course in Nevada. He was there. But also he attended most of the important parts of the trial. And I'm so glad that he was able to at least relay to me all this information as the first eyewitness. Now, we were talking about what's happening right now in North Dakota. Let me tell you something. Before even we go into who's right, who's wrong, okay? And I think I told you last time, this is way beyond the rule of law. I'm not saying that every time somebody protests is right. No. But the point is, everything is supposed to be dealt accordingly, okay? If somebody's peaceful, somebody's not bringing, let's say, shooting at you, you shouldn't start to come down with tanks and with rabid dogs and unleashing the dogs and shooting plastic bullets or rubber bullets and arresting journalists just because they are reporting the news. This is called fascism. Seriously. So now, first of all, that's the most important thing, in my opinion. Regardless where you side on the issue with the North Dakota pipeline, I believe, by the way, in this case, the Indians, according to what I read, they're right. This is my opinion. I'm no lawyer. I'm not there, but I tell you what I read, I think they're right. But regardless, you don't go out there and start to arrest journalists. You don't start to arrest people just because peacefully protest. And more important, you don't come down with tanks. Do you see the photos? They're coming down with, like, not even Iraq, they have such a display of force. Armored vehicles, sound cannons, machine guns. I mean, looking like out of a Star Wars movie, like the stormtroopers. I mean, this is insane. Seriously. And you know what I believe is also more insane? That this is not happening by accident. Nothing happens by accident. Think about it. We have now, of course, the natives, the Sioux, ask the UN to intervene. I respect the native, I don't want to call them native, because if you're born in America, you're native too, okay? The Indians, okay? That's the way they're called. The Indians' right to be sovereign. That's supposed to be their right. And they can call even the Martians from Mars if they want to be helped. That's their right. After all, they're supposed to be the sovereign nation, okay? But I say something. The United Nations have no business to put even one of their stinky foot on U.S. soil. I don't even care if it's like an inspector or like dressed like, like a CPA. I don't care. And for sure, if you come here with any type of uniform or colors or military equipment, you have no business. Okay? So the Sioux must be very careful because they may be in good faith try to defend themselves or try to find some help. At the same time, I remind, on America, this is our soil. The United Nations, they have no business. They have no business to be here. And I believe this is part of the plan. We already been listening the news and the videos, YouTubes, and all these witnessing and all these conspiracies the last few years, all these armored vehicles, and now they were the fuel vehicles of the United Nations troops in U.S. Now, I told you last week my other conspiracy. They're coming out more and more now that some of these informants, maybe they're not just regular FBI informants. Maybe they come from a group that was sent here a long time ago to prepare for the new America, for the new change that Obama wants. That's the reality. They need to disarm us. They need to completely eradicate people like us that we refuse to submit to this global socialism called also New World Order. They need to take us out, and they will need help, because I'm sure that many American soldiers or even police, even if they've been brainwashed, they will not follow their evil agenda. So they need somebody else. So that's why I say we need to follow very carefully what's happening in North Dakota and start to understand that now we are all Indians. Indians that have been put in cages without bars the last 200 years or whatever, called reservations, where you have no rights. You surrender your rights. You're supposed to be sovereign, but the moment that you accept a little paycheck from the federal government, you become a slave, and you have no Bill of Rights. You cannot even exercise your Second Amendment right, for sure. That's a fact. So that's the point. That's the point. So I'm saying, be ready, because these elections that's going to be in a few days, I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. And as I said, Trump may not have all the answers, but let me tell you something. What's happening right now, it is beyond Trump. And even if Trump can give us a little bit of a breaking, stopping this bleeding, we are bleeding like 1,000 gallons per second. There is a big hemorrhage. We need a tourniquet immediately. And for sure, we know black and white that Hillary is the continuation of Obama's plan. That's a fact. She told us out loud. Trump, you may say, I'm not sure. After all, we don't have a really political record of what he's been doing politically. He's a businessman. He's been kissing ass to both sides. We know that. But maybe now he wants to have a chance. I don't know. But for sure, Hillary is complete death. And let me play for you this little segment, because I tell you, this is so important. And then I only say, I'm not telling you what to vote for. I'm not that arrogant. I'm not here to tell you my suggestion. You do what you want. Use your brain. Use your heart. I'm just giving you the facts. Okay? All I say, though, if you vote for Hillary, you are my enemy. As simple as that. Simple as that. You have the right, of course. But don't you ever dare to come close to me, even say hi to me. I beg you, because I don't want to spit on your face. And I'm a civil person, but I'll tell you in face, you're a piece of trash. You're a worm, you're a coward. Because if you want to kill me, just squeeze the trigger yourself. Okay? Just do it. Don't let the government do it for you. Because that's what will happen when the government, through Hillary, will try to destroy completely our Second Amendment. And if you say, oh no, it's never going to happen, like Obama, he didn't want to take our guns. The only reason why he wasn't able to do it, because we didn't give him a chance, because we fought back. Of course, now with the new Supreme Court justice to be replaced, we'll see how this all play. Let me play this piece of trash called Hillary Rodham Clinton, and then we go in our number 2. Interesting interview with Mr. Gambino. Can you believe that? I have a Gambino on the show with me. Listen to this New World Order whore called Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Have already started taking on the NRA. We have got to have I do not believe that the NRA represents most gun owners. They sure don't represent the majority of Americans. But they have so intimidated elected members of Congress and other legislative bodies that these people are passing the most absurd laws. The idea that you could have an open carry permit with an AK-47 over your shoulder walking up and down the aisles of a supermarket is just despicable. So I'm going to speak out. I'm going to do everything I can to rally people against this pernicious, corrupting influence of the NRA. And we're going to do whatever we can. I was proud when my husband took them out, and we were able to ban assault weapons, but he had to put a sunset on. So 10 years later, of course, Bush wouldn't agree to reinstate them. We've got to go after this. And here again, the Supreme Court is wrong on the Second Amendment. And I am going to make that case every chance I get. So I will need your help on that.
Yeah, that's the bottom line, you know. That's black and white. And she wants the Australian type gun control. That means there is no more gun. There are no more guns for Americans. Okay, guess what? That's going to be a big problem. And that's why I said, if you believe or if you vote for Hillary, blood will be on your hands. Simple as that. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm not trying to say things to impress you. It's true. Many of us will die. And if you like that, that's fine. As I said, you are not my friend. Simple as that. Now, let's be happy. Let's celebrate life till we have it. If you want to support this show, I really beg you. Because this is not like the government that point the gun at your face to steal your money, and then so Obama can spend $4 million to play golf with what is his name, Tiger Woods. Can you believe that? $4 million to have a little game of golf with Tiger Woods. One game. How do you feel there, hypocrites? Scum who voted for that bastard. How do you feel? Oh, it's for the people. Meanwhile, how many people we would have fed with $4 million of our tax dollar? How many? Hypocrites. You know, that man is a devil, and you are worshiping the devil. That's what I really believe. So anyway, regardless, this is not the government. I ask you for money. I don't steal your money, and I need your support. And it's very simple. If you want to support, there are many ways. Number one, go to www.zanna.us. ZANNA.us. 99 cents. You can download any of my songs. I have more than 100 songs I have wrote since I came to America. By the way, this is my 18 years anniversary. Thank God I made it here. I'm grateful. I am. Even if I'm living in hell right now, and I'm facing hell, but I'm proud to do it with you, American people. Maybe that was my purpose in life. I don't know. All I'm saying, I'm proud to be here and to stand the line against this tyranny, this scum. That's the bottom line. So, Zanna.us. Also, you can download at Zanna.us. There is the link. Go straight to Amazon or go to Amazon.com. There is my book, Lyrics and Poems. The collection of all my lyrics I wrote, my published songs, also some of my poems and my thoughts. If you love Obama, if you're a government worshipper, guess what? Don't buy the book. You're not going to like it. If you believe in freedom, and if you're not offended by some sort of a strong language, yes, I remind you, it's explicit language. Yes, I appreciate your support. Just $2.99. And doing so, I remind you, we can keep this show free, and I don't need to beg for sponsor. All right, ready for hour number 2 with Mr. Gambino. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna. Do not go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on United States.FM network. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna, second hour. And this is the hour about guns. And as I said, we don't talk during the show about, the latest gun and always about, fashion or whatever could be. Sometimes, this is not about guns as some sort of instrument of hobby or an instrument of, fashion, as I said, or just to talk about it. No. Guns, for me, especially coming from Italy, means that I'm not a slave anymore. Means that when I carry a gun, it's not because I'm looking for violence. Before even to the point of self-defense, is a philosophical point of view, is to remind to the government that I'm a human being and I have rights. I'm not a subject. Because, unfortunately, in Europe, in the rest of the world mostly, you don't have the right. And you know very well, the first thing they do when they want to subjugate you, when they want to enslave you, they will take your weapons. It didn't just happen right now, the last century, with Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, all these petty tyrants. No. It happens also in the past. It happens also in history, for example, during the Roman history, the Roman Empire. As I said many times, slaves are never armed. I am not a slave. That's why I wanted to come to Arizona and come to America, and because I want that right as a human being. So this is the hour for me, very important. As I said, for me, it's a philosophical, first of all, point of view, to remind that free human beings should have their right. Doesn't mean that you have to, maybe you don't need that. Maybe you don't like guns. That's fine. But you have the right, as a free human being, to be armed. And also, of course, at least for myself, I enjoy the Second Amendment because it's something that I really like. I like guns. I like to shoot them, have fun. It is some sort of, people like what they do. They go to watch football. I like to go shoot to the range, okay? That's what I like to do. But besides that, this hour also is important because I like to try to get people's mind, information, on what exactly is happening to our rights, what we are facing as Americans especially, because this Second Amendment right is the right that probably is the most in danger right now than ever. Don't get me wrong. They already destroyed and got it down most of the Bill of Rights. You know very well what they can do now under the National Defense Authorization Act of 2012, with this unlimited, completely without any double due process. They can arrest you, throw you in the dungeon and indefinitely detention, thanks to Obama, Mr. Peace and Love. And then, of course, Bush before, the Patriot Act 1 and 2, that Obama, of course, signed it every time. And we allow, of course, now to have military on the streets in America to completely be used as a police force. Completely violation of posse comitatus. We are before Civil War times. We are before pre-Magna Carta. You know what it means? Come on. I'm an immigrant from Italy. I'm sure, guys, I don't want to remind you what meant the Magna Carta in this process of freedom towards the individual. Even the king had to obey to some laws. Even the king had to provide some sort of a body of the crime. Can't just throw your ass in jail just because it doesn't like your face, okay? We are before that right now. Okay, now let me go to the point. Last Sunday, on the air, I talk about what I really believe is happening when it comes down to these infiltrators, that they don't just work for the FBI. My opinion, some of them, they've been here prepositioning themselves for years ahead of time before the new takeover. That's what is going to happen, what is happening. The United Nations, they're not just some conspiracy theory. It's a force, it's a military force already been proven around the world to create mayhem, to create disasters, to destroy the sovereignty of other nations. And unfortunately, most of these people that they belong to the United Nations, they're a bunch of crooks and tyrants. How do you feel like to have in the United Nations, people like China, the Saudi Arabia, for the, Human Rights Council? Are you kidding me? So that's the reality. They're a bunch of socialist psychopaths, and now they also have the opportunity through armed force to impose their tyranny to every other nation who does not want to comply with their agenda. Look what's happening right now in Syria. Okay? So we are next. I really believe that. But I don't want to bring you just conspiracy. I want to bring you facts. Now, why I'm doing this? This is supposed to be the hour about guns. Because the reality is, why do we train? Why do we have guns? If you want to have a gun, spend $3,000 just to go and shoot a shotgun, some sort of exotic shotgun for kids. That's fine. That's your money. That's your hobby. I'm not telling you what to do. But for me, the gun is always the tool. It's an extension of my freedom, an extension of my soul to defend my freedom and to defend this republic and my fellow Americans. That's it. So I like to bring here people who use their brain. And sometimes, I normally don't like to bring people that they don't have a face. I like to bring people with name and last name and curriculum, blah, blah, blah. But once in a while, when I am being, approached by individuals, like the guy that I'm going to bring you right now, Mr. Gambino. By the way, this is not his real name. And he doesn't even have a real face. He normally has the face of, V for Vendetta. But I've been following his post, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and also a lot of, persistence, because I know that Facebook knocks him down almost every other day to bring back this information out there. So he's an interesting man, and I'm happy about that, because at least seems like he really wants to try to learn, and he wants to share what he learned. And I wish we had more people like him rather than watching all day football and, don't get me wrong, you can watch that too, but you watch football after you do your duty as an American. Stay informed, share the information, and stand up for your rights. Gambino, are you there? Or did you fall asleep while I was talking all this stuff?
No, I'm here.
All right, Gambino, good. So now, before we start, is a little conversation. How did you come out with this name Gambino? I know that, you're not exactly, you don't look like one of these Sopranos guys, okay? But you like the Gambino names. How did you come out with this name?
Gambino, because the Gambino family, they stood down to nothing and no one.
Okay. Did he ever get contacted by the Gambino's family? Say, by the way, you're using our name without paying the fees. You got to pay the mobs here, okay? I'm expecting that. You watch it.
I mean, nowadays, ain't nobody contacting me just as of this time, but I mean, it's just a name, and I respect the Gambino family with all means and all respect.
Listen, if you use let's say, trademark without paying the fee, they're going to send you the bill. The Gambinos, they don't have a trademark, but I'm sure they find a way to send you a bill. So watch it. Keep wearing the mask, okay? Be sure.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm just playing with you. Listen, we met on Facebook, and you brought me a lot of good information. Today, my topic, I wanted to share with you, at least want to get your opinion, according to what you've been researching. The topic is United Nations. Do you really think that these United Nations vehicles, armored vehicles that we've been witnessing the last few years, not just now, have some sort of a substance, some sort of reality? Are we really coming close to a point of reckoning that could be created by a natural disaster or a false flag? And, of course, we have enough executive orders out there that the man acting as a president can declare martial law. Or maybe we are just, probably have so much paranoia, and there is really nothing to substantiate all these United Nations presence that we've been watching on YouTube the last few years. What do you think, according to your research?
The United Nations, they statutes that apply to the American people are only statutes. They are only recommendations. They are not laws. The United Nations conversation that's recorded between me and the United Nations confess that their statutes are only recommendations. They don't have the manpower nor the authority, and any contract that is discussed upon them and the government is not a legal binding contract. That is what the United Nations conversation states. Mm-hmm. So therefore, if any contract that they have binded with the government, if it's not a legal binded contract, then therefore that is treason and tyranny against the American people.
Yeah, I mean,
and the United Nations also confess to that. But the question that you asked, that do I think is a takeover? I know that it's a takeover.
The point is,
the only thing that's stopping them.
You say something important. You say, no, there is no legal binding, and that's fine. The problem is that under color of law, and more important, the law at the end of the day, like the Gambino will say, it is not about the law, but who has the bigger guns, okay? Because that's exactly what they're trying to do. I mean, look what happened. Every time government wants to impose something, even if there is no law behind, okay, they will make sure that you understand, and we understand, that at the end of the day, unless you want to have your house SWAT team and you're going to face down probably with a bullet in the back of your head, that's the law. I mean, it happened many times. So the point is, even let's say in some wars, some treaties, let's say Germany is supposed not to invade that country. They don't care. The treaty, the binding treaty doesn't mean nothing when they have power to do it. So what I'm really concerned now, especially with the latest, this is not just Obama's fault, you know that. I mean, the man before Obama was working for the same masters, the New World Order, they're working together. The Bush family is exactly the same. So my point is, though, they've been working together, and now we have almost at this reckoning point where we have an economy that is a disaster, ready to implode. And, of course, there are so many executive orders that Obama can declare martial law almost on anything. The latest one was about also this sun EMP type of disaster. We're talking about this sunstorm,
You're talking about the power grid.
Exactly. I mean, he can...
Power grid.
Exactly. He can become some sort of a dictator that already is on everything. So I believe that's why he will need the United Nations to complete his agenda, because probably many American soldiers would say, no, we're not going to do this. So don't worry, we got already the Russians, we got the Chinese, we got the Cubans probably now. I mean, think about it. What do you think about this? Do you have any evidence about this?
I have the evidence, everything that you just spoke of revolves around everything that I have exposed. Everything, if the Federal Reserve, if all money of the United States that consists of Federal Reserve notes, if all money is illegal, unlawful, and valueless, the income tax system is illegal, unlawful, and valueless, because the income tax system and the tax system is paid with Federal Reserve notes. So therefore, once a government is found guilty with proof and evidence that they have committed treason and tyranny against the civilians of that government, then that gives the people of that government the right to stand up against that government with treason and tyranny. The point of it, the point is not the legal system. The point is the fear. Mm-hmm. One must not fear. You must be ready to die for what you stand and what you believe in.
Yes, you're right. You're
you
right.
Can't, I mean, if you fear to stand for what you believe in, then you will always be a slave, and you would always accept whatever is done.
You know, there is an expression, that I learned from somebody that wasn't mine, but I really like it. You have only rights if you're ready to die for them. Otherwise, if you're too afraid to stand up, you're going to be a slave. You're right. I mean, the moment that you have no more fear, say, you know what, I don't care. You can say whatever you want. I'm not going to be your slave. I will stand up, and I will revolt, and I will rise up. I'll do everything I can to stop this tyranny on me and my fellow human beings. So I think that's very important. You must not be afraid anymore.
So many people is the main tactic that the government use to keep you from standing up against them, because they know if you stand up against them, you are in the right, because they know that they are a illegal entity. Mm-hmm. They have no legal authority to operate and convict or arrest anyone on United States soil. Yep. No one but government corporations. They cannot arrest civilians. They know this. But if you know this here and you stand up against them, they will try to make you a victim, not the proper word I'm using. They will try to make you a statistic.
Yeah, you're going to be an enemy of the state. They're going to kill you. They're going to put in the FEMA camps if you're lucky.
Yeah. So they feel like if the one that's standing up against them, even though what he's standing up or she's standing up for is right, if you kill him, all the other followers will stop because you have killed the leader.
Yes.
That's when you must have your faith intact with the Creator, the Messiah. You know, you must have your faith intact, because only He can lead you through this righteousness and this truthfulness and this knowledge.
I understand. Because you must really have faith beyond this life, because when you graduate to the next level, say, you know what, at the end of the day, when they see that you are no more afraid, because they can try to take your body, but will never take your dignity and your freedom. You know, at that point, you're free. That's what I really believe. I mean, look at, for example, Obamacare. You know, we're all in fear because, after all, oh my God, the IRS will come and fine us. Screw you, you know. And there's a point that how much tyranny you're going to take before you say, stop, enough is enough. And same story with the income tax. You know, at least I always say I play smart. I play by the rules because I want to fight them on the long way, okay? So I will play by the rules. But at the same time, I know what you're saying is true. First of all, in our Constitution, the income tax itself, it never happened before 1913. When people say, oh, you got to pay your fair share, wake up, Americans, because I was even born here, I can tell you. All you got to do is start to study your history. Before 1913, we did not have this monstrosity called the private Federal Reserve, okay? Our treasury was able to print our own money, always backed by gold and silver, okay? And you didn't have to ask for the interest. I mean, we didn't have to pay the interest to these private cartels of bankers. And that's exactly what the income tax does. It pays the interest to these bankers. Now, let's learn. We need to learn our history. We need to learn what we were and what we are. So now, coming back to the guns part, I have a question for you. You sound like a young man, And I'm very proud of you because you are kind of very different from the average guy normally I meet when I go out, just in to Walmart, to anywhere. You want to study, you want to learn this information. You're a working guy, right? I mean, what do you do for a living? Can I ask you?
I drill chefs for house foundations and apartment foundations and casino foundations like piers, 12 to 15 foot holes.
Okay. So you work with your hands, you bust your butt. Now, you didn't learn this stuff at school. I don't think you got any special, a scholarship or stuff like that because they don't teach you the stuff anyway, correct? I mean, where did you learn this stuff? How did you learn? Why did you say one day, Mr. Gambino say, damn it, I want to know the truth. How did it happen to you, this journey? How did you wake up?
I was actually searching one day. I was researching some stuff about the Treasury Department. And when I researched on the Treasury Department led me to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve led me to the Bureau of Engraving. The Bureau of Engraving led me to the IRS. The IRS led me to Congress. And once Congress just validated that all this is true and this is the law, I mean, that was the day history changed.
Wow. And I saw you got a lot of phone calls, by the way, and you have a YouTube channel where people can listen to all your audio?
Yes, sir. I got a YouTube channel.
A
YouTube channel called Cortez Gambino's YouTube channel.
Okay, Cortez Gambino YouTube channel. Good, because I really want people start to, seriously. This is serious. When you have a young man like you, okay, that he doesn't do this for a living. This is like almost like your mission. Like every one of us, some people go to church and help the poor. Some other people goes to the hospital. Some other people try to learn the truth and share it. I think that's as valuable as any other things like this. So go out and start to do what one person can do. Start to show what one person can do, because it's so important. Think about the power of the individual. It's one person can go out, start to ask the questions, start to learn the truth, and start even just with a simple media like YouTube, share this information. And maybe wake up another 10 people, 20 people. And when these people, they are not just receivers, they are not just listeners, but become broadcasters themselves. That's going to be almost like breaking the matrix. That's how we take it back. You don't need to become the new, don't get me wrong, Alex Jones, I think, has done a great job, at least reaches millions of people. But you can be also, even if you're not a famous radio guy, just with a little YouTube channel, doing your researches and sharing the fruit of your labor when it comes down to exposing these frauds. I think that's exactly how we're going to take it back.
And you must not be afraid to, when you're exposed to frauds, you cannot be afraid to expose them, because you have to remember the way how they kept their organization going was fear.
Yes, it is fear.
Anything that is necessary to shut you up from telling the truth, the powers that be, they can and they will play dishonorably, but you must not show fear.
No, I agree. It is exactly. We need to stop having fear. But the problem, we've been domesticated a long time. Think about it. When you have a lot to lose, people, let's say, they don't want to revolt, okay? When you are dependent on the system, you'll defend the system. I'm not talking about you, but in general. That's why they want us always dependent. They always want some sort of a program. Because how can you revolt against the master that is feeding you? That's the reality. I mean, think about it. I mean, our founding fathers, they were human beings. They weren't perfect, but guess what? They had more balls than we have today. They would have not put up with all this stuff. And some of them, they have a lot to lose too. I mean, they have businesses, they are, homes, families got killed. But at the end of the day, they made a choice. Today, it seems like almost, everybody say, hey, wait a second. I cannot say what I say, because after all, I work for the post office, or maybe I work for the government, or maybe I'm collecting the check, or the welfare check. Or now I got Obamacare. How can I revolt against whatever, This is exactly where they want us to put us, in a situation of dependence. Throw us a little loaf of bread once in a while, so enough to eat, but, enough we don't starve. But for sure we're not thriving. We are not, fulfilling our potential. That's the idea. So we cannot revolt. At least we cannot, let's say stop. We are not your slaves. Now, talking about slavery. I'm asking, I'm trying to learn here because this is something important. I learned one thing, that the first gun control laws in this country were exactly after the Civil War. to try to limit the right to black people to own guns. You were aware of it?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. That was the first strike at the African American race to distinguish us and keep us from things that they was afraid for us to have.
Mm-hmm. This is like, for me now, this is the point. Now we are all, let's say, in some way, black Americans when it comes down to rights, because they want to have us all deprived of our rights. Before they started with the Indians, okay, you have no rights, and they still don't have rights. For example, if you live in a reservation, they give you a piece of loaf of bread once a month, they cut you a check, but you got to stay there, be put, shut up, and you never have the right to carry a weapon. In the reservation, guns are not allowed. Are you aware of it?
Exactly.
In most of reservations, at least, when they work with the federal government. So that right there, they already keep you as a slave without, like a prison without bars, okay? Same story with the black people. So much for the liberation after the Civil War. And guess what? Bang. They start to say, no, we don't trust you. We're not going to give you guns. That's right there. Should make me think now, today, to all the people that they think, they are liberals, as they're supposed to be for minorities, whatever. This gun control situation is the most racist thing, I believe, I never witnessed it, because exactly what they do, they did in the past, and now they're doing to all the rest of us, So tell me something, Gambino. Do you exercise your Second Amendment wherever you are in the world? First of all, can we say your location in America? Where do you live? Which part of the world? Texas. So it's a decent state. You got good state laws. I think they're getting better and better there. What do you think about the gun state laws in Texas for guns? You think you're happy with those?
Yeah, I'm happy with them because in Texas they're not playing. They exercise their gun rights.
Yes.
And you have governors and senators and all different type of agencies and high-ranking politicians that don't agree with that Obama Act of gun control, or stricter gun control.
Yeah.
And the best way to take control over the population is if you take away their weapons.
Exactly. As I said, every state has a different level of control, but Texas, I think, it seems like one of the best in the Southwest. Arizona is number one still after all these years. But, even Texas now, for example, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not really familiar with the Texas gun laws. Can you carry open carry, correct, a gun? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. You can open carry.
Okay, then you have open carry. That's good, without permit. That's excellent. And then you can, of course, have a CCW if you want. Do you have also the right to carry, for example, like we have in Arizona, called constitutional carry, like in Vermont also? That means you can carry as a law-abiding person, with no felonies and no record. You're allowed to carry concealed your gun without any type of government paperwork.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, that is true.
Wow, so you got also that. So that's pretty good. So you're really in a great state. Now, question is, what thing, latest thing I've been watching and freaked me out a little bit, and I want your opinion, okay?
I got to say something because you say I'm really in a great state. Yeah, America is a great land, but at the same time, it's an evil and deceptive land. Because if it was such a great land, and they would have told all the American people about enslavement that they did to us.
Yeah.
So me being blessed and being fortunate enough to be an African American, I endured all the pain of my fellow brothers and my fellow sisters, and even my own heartache and pain, and fellow other Americans that are not African American, and the big point of it is that
what I believe, Gambino, I have an interesting point here you made, about slavery. This has been happening almost since the beginning of humanity. It is not just like an American problem. You know that. I mean, there are slaves.
It didn't just start. And see, that's what I was saying when the African American slaves were freed physically, the whole nation was enslaved mentally and financially without even knowing it.
Yes. You see,
so it's like they freed the African slaves from the physical beating, but yet enslaved the whole human population of a lifetime of lies and injustice.
You're right. This is very profound what you say. I tell you, I'm pretty impressed with you because you made a very important point. They tried to free the black people. At the same time, they enslave everybody, black people included. Because technically, we become with the 14th Amendment, things changes. Things change.
So when this fight that I'm on is not just for my color people, it's for all humanity.
And that's good.
It's for all humanity, whites, black, Italian, Mexicans, Latinos, Asians, Japanese, Chinese, Russian, whatever you is, if you're American citizen, then my fight and my stand is for you. Even if you're afraid to stand for yourself, I'm going to stand for you.
You're right. And, this is exactly what they're trying to do to us right now. I mean, I'm sure you're aware. You sound very aware of this. They try to separate us, divide us, and conquer us. They try to say, seriously, I wish Obama was the first black American. Honestly, I don't care which color. I would care that was a good president, okay? That's my only goal. Then if you're black, white, or whatever, I don't care. But the point is, I don't see any improvement in this sort of, let's say, relationship. I think we went back to way past, things when were bad enough. And I realize this is part of the plan. I mean, now look at this, just because you are a different color of skin, they judge you, they beat you up. I mean, that's wrong on both sides. I don't care where you are, but, this is becoming almost an excuse they want to create a martial law. That's what they're trying to do, in my opinion. What do you think?
The martial law it all boils down to me personally, my belief is the Messiah, Jesus Christ. Everybody have their own beliefs. But personally, it all boils down to good and evil, God, Jesus Christ, and Satan. So at the end of the day, the fight that you really have is only between good and evil. Whether you want to do good or whether you want to cherish and have finer things and do wrong.
You're right.
But the deception is because the deception disguised because there was so much other things planted into your eyesight. How you look, how you dress, what you drive, where you live, who your friends is, how you eat, how you make your money, where you work. Mm-hmm. That's the distraction to really what's going on and the plan that they really trying to do. See, what people don't understand is they, meaning when I say they, I mean the government, the Rothschild family, the Rockefeller family, and the elites. When they plan something, they plan the problem and they plan the solution to that problem. So when you think that when you think that they solve a problem, that's because they had created the problem without you even knowing that they created the problem. So basically what I'm saying, they break your dependency down to depend on them. So you feel like that they are God, that they are for you, that they are righteous and they are this and they are that. When the whole time it's different. They are actually enslaving your body, your brain, your soul, and your mind.
Yes, it is true. It's true. The problem-reaction solution is this Hegelian dialectic that is way been experimented on us long time. And this is honestly since way before even this century. I mean, this is something like they do. They create a crisis, of course, then they give us already the solution that is pretty much what they want. And they direct us through the fear. Through fear, our emotions, we surrender our sovereignty, we surrender our rights. That's what we do. Listen, I have a question for you. Talking about guns, because this is the hour normally we talk also about guns, believe it or not. But this is, for me, even more important, because I like to pick your brain. Normally, I don't find enough people that, I tell you, I like everybody, but when I have somebody like you, that you're a black American, that have, in my opinion, very good knowledge, let you learn by yourself because you have they decide to learn. You didn't go to school. This stuff, as I said, they don't teach you school. But you have the instinct.
Man will deceive you.
Exactly.
The Messiah, Jesus Christ, will never deceive you.
So I like to know a little bit more about you also when it comes down to, for example, guns. You have any questions or anything you want to talk about guns? Something that could be, I don't know, even from basic things, handguns, rifles, safety, or tactics, anything you want. I want to give you the floor to ask me questions.
Can we curse on your radio show, or is it non-cursing, or?
Say again?
Can we curse on your radio show? Is it non-cursing, or any restrictions to the language?
The language, we are on the radio, and, we have to comply with the FCC rules. So it's a kind of a family language. I mean, you can say, for example, I don't know, the Pope is an ass, okay? But we cannot cuss, okay? We can say Obama is a scumbag. That's fine, but I cannot say other words. So otherwise, I need to edit. This kind of beep, beep, beep is not really good. But talk about everything you want when it comes down. Ask me questions if you want, or tell me anything you want about Second Amendment. And more important, about what you think now this small arms treaty that State Secretary of State Kerry signed with the Obama administration without even being ratified by Senate. So this small arms treaty is a complete threat to our Second Amendment, and they don't care. What do you think about this?
Okay, Obama and the Second Amendment and bear arms to any American, any human being that's listening and that will listen to this radio conversation. Do not give up your guns. Your guns is your constitutional right by the 4 founding fathers for if they ever put the people in injustice government. Injustice government means treason and tyranny. Do not give up your guns. If you do not have weapons to fight and protect yourself, then how can you defend you and your family or your property against invaders with very large guns? Yeah. If you give up your guns, then you have just become the slave of the New World Order system.
Exactly. And that's why I really believe that the New World Order is pushing so much to disarm America. America is the last country that we have that population have the right to be armed. I mean, I've been studying this, trying to find another place like America doesn't exist about the Second Amendment. At least the right that our founding fathers fought and died for, that we're supposed to have. Of course, in many states we let it die, and but that's another story. So the point is very true. Like, for example, they want to take your property. We already know Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. They're after pretty much to completely control all the resources, the water, the land, the minerals, farms,
the food, the clothing, the diamond, the oil, the gas, everything.
And now the vaccines. We see in California, for example, what they're doing. They're forcing vaccines on children at the school system, and now they try to pass a law that all the adults must be vaccinated, even if they don't want. I mean, that's not slavery, guys. I mean, come on. This is like worse than what being in a camp. At least when you're a slave, you got a chain around your neck. Probably they feed you 3 times a day. And then, of course, you're a slave. But here you go around thinking you're free. And guess what? You don't even control your body anymore.
It's basically stand up and fight and be willing to die for what you believe in or lay down and accept whatever it's done.
And I say, I'm always for peace. I try to always bring the peaceful resolution. But there is a point, a line in the sand, that when you draw the line in the sand, you cannot change your mind anymore. Because there is a point that, every one of us must pick and choose when this line in the sand is going to be. And I pray that we're never going to go to the point. But there is a point that, for example, okay, today they came and they forced you to put a seatbelt even if you don't want to. Okay. Unfortunately, that's another way that we became slave, okay? But that's another stage. You let that go. Then a few years ago, property taxes. Oh, we got to do property taxes. You got to be charged every year for the property. Okay, let it go. Then they will come back with Obamacare. By the way, now you must pay 3 times more for an inferior product that maybe you don't even want because we say so. That's slavery. They force you to buy a product you don't want. On top is an inferior product. That's really worse than the mafia. My God. And then you let it go, and then you let it go. Then one day they will come at your door and say, by the way, now we need to microchip your children. But why? Because we before microchip your chickens and your dogs. And you must have a license for your children. Why? Because we have a license for your dogs. So you let them sleep also there. So this is the point. You got to say, stop. Enough is enough. And, that's my point. We got to find a way to stop them before they come to your door.
The whole point is that they do it slowly. Like what you just said about the microchips of your chicken and your dog. They microchip the chickens first to get you used to and getting you to want it and thinking that, oh, that's a good idea.
Yes.
Then they slowly but surely, let's microchip you.
Exactly.
You can keep up with your kids and you can always know where your kids are, and that's the main tactic that they use to human beings. When I say human beings, people with souls,
yes,
with care, with heart.
Yes, and you say very importantly, the soul. It's something that sometimes they want us to make us forget that we have. And how they do that, they find a way, to all this control system, from the, let's say, they control everything, that. These 6 families, 7 families tops, they control the media, they control the entertainment. They can say what type of, and I'm not a bigot person, I say, I am a regular guy, I'm not here to try to preach morality, okay? But I tell you, I realize what they're doing is satanic. It is not about just once in a while to see a woman out there with long legs and big boobs. No, this is about perverting and completely destroying our integrity as human beings. That means it's not just about naked women. It's about try to teach to our kids now that, for example, stealing is okay. And you got these video games that I never really played those, but I have Xbox, I have stuff like that, like Grand Theft Auto. You think it's a cool little game. What is cool about to train a child to say, hey, by the way, you go there, steal a car, rape a woman, and you pass to the next level, and you win the game? I mean, that's insane. That's how they destroy our soul. That's how they're going to control, unfortunately, the output of the new generation. What do you think about that? I mean, this is not something that also, let's say, in some music culture, they try to almost brainwash the masses. I mean, I see, normally my background is more of rock and roll and Italian music, okay? But when I came to America, I started to like every type of music, and some hip-hop I like it, some other songs like rap I like it. But then when I started to learn the lyrics, because at the beginning for me was even understanding any word, it was just a bunch of sounds and it was cool, the drums and blah, blah, blah. But then I started to listen to the lyrics and I said, wait a second, I mean, this talks about things that is not exactly what my child, I would like to let them listen to all day and maybe thinking that is okay. What do you think about that? There's no other way to control us through this sort of entertainment.
Entertainment, the music business, the athletic business, anything that catches the masses' eye is under the elite control. And they use that. I see so many pictures and so many things of women today with their hair over one eye, but they're not knowing what that represents. That represents the satanicalism of the disbelief and the non-believer. And the control, the mind control. Have you ever heard of the HARP system?
No. Say again. Who's that?
The HARP system. HAARP.
Oh, HARP system. Yes. I heard about that. But yes.
The HARP system is a multi-billion-dollar system that the government focuses in on mind control. They can even control the weather.
Yes.
If Obama main gesture, that's why all campaigns keep hollering about a natural disaster. The HARP system that they have, it can control earthquakes. Well, not control them, but it can cause them to be more severe. It can cause them to be more light. It can cause tsunamis. It can cause tornadoes, hurricanes. Like when you see lightning in the sky, when you look in the sky, you see the lightning, and you see a lot of different lightnings. On one lightning bolt, it might have like 20 or 30 different other lightning strikes, right?
Yes.
But that's not the universal creator lightning strike. That is the HARP weather system.
It is
the
true.
HARP weather system.
It is true. And by the way,
Einstein.
Even, the story with also Tesla was behind a lot of this technology that, of course, was taken from him. But my point is, this technology is real. HARP is real. It's not a conspiracy. People have
It's
to
not
do.
I have documentation, but it's not a conspiracy.
Exactly. All you have to do, if you want to research, is out there, this information. This is the interesting thing. So listen, this is, and this is part of the plan. People say, by the way, how can we defend ourselves, in case all these technologies, satellites, drones, HARP, even with your little, rifle or handgun. Of course, rifle is always better. The point is, guys, first of all, I'd rather to have a weapon and have a chance to defend my life and my family and our freedom than be completely disarmed. But history proves that even the biggest army, the biggest power out there. Look, for example, in the past, Russia, when they were in Afghanistan, and even the British lost with the Americans, the colonists and all these things. The point is, no matter what, the spirit of resistance, it's always hard to suppress. There is always hope. And, we are not here to become an army. I'm not here to try to incite to revolt. I just say there is a point to draw a line in the sand. And every one of us will find out the line in the sand when it comes. Hopefully we don't need to go there. Hopefully we can stop it here, talking, learning, educating people, and through the political process. But there is a point, as I said, I know my line in the sand, and maybe it's different from yours, I don't know, but I tell you, the day that they come to say, by the way, we come and now we claim ownership over you, and you will submit to a vaccine because we say so. And I said, no, I'm not complying. I'm not going to put in my body whatever you think I should do. No way. Number one. Number two, you want to come and try to take my property without due process, without compensation? Guess what? No, this is not going to be another Russia under Stalin, one day, Lenin, taking over properties from the farmers, whatever. I will not comply, and I will defend it. They will try to, for example, to put a meter to your well. If you live in rural America, already happening. It's already happening. They will tax you by the gallon for every gallon of water that you pump out of your well. That's another way of slavery. They claim ownership over the water that you're supposed to be able to drink. So there are many different ways. And of course, don't get me wrong with guns. I say already, people don't need to, as I said, government, if you're there listening, I appreciate you listening, but let me tell you, you don't need to find the semi-infiltrators to find out who I am. Just listen to the show. The moment it comes down to gun confiscation, registration, I will break every law of that book. Simple as that. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be along for a while, but I tell you, for how long I'm going to be, I'm not even going to put my gun underground and hide it. No way. I have the right as an American to carry a gun, you like it or not. And like me, millions of us. And I will find out who's right, who's wrong at that point. Right, Gambino? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. Gambino, yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, Gambino, I need to get you, we gotta do, I call you my brother in arms, without arms, I don't care. You're my brother, American brother. I like you, Gambino, seriously. And I want to have, you know what I like about my journey as Americans? And let me tell you this, Gambino, because for me, probably it's deeper than for you, okay? I wasn't born here. You were born here. I came here, and I find people like you that I never even met you. I don't even know who you are. I know, but I can feel your heart. I can feel your soul. I can feel your desire to be a free human being. I can feel your desire to try to restore the basic rights that this republic is supposed to have, okay? And learn the truth. That's the most important thing. And I find this for me, even if we are from different families, different bloodlines, different ethnic group, I consider like a brother. And that for me is exactly the idea of to be an American. When I find people like you, it gives me the purpose. It gives me the satisfaction. Say, you know what, this is for me the most beautiful experience I ever had. We are here facing this tyranny. We are facing this challenge united as Americans, regardless of our religions, regardless of our beliefs or our colors of our skin. We are here united, and we love freedom, and we respect each other. And I would die for you, Gambino, I tell you. Even I don't want to die, of course, but I would die for you and all the people like you who believes in this concept of freedom.
United as one, we stand together.
Exactly. Listen, Gambino, What rifle do you like? You can ask your question. If you say, I cannot answer, that's fine. But, what is your main rifle to go? One rifle. At the end of the day, they say there is a proverb or an expression. Be careful of the one-man rifle or my one-man gun, because I have a lot of guns, I tell you. I have more guns than my fingers. But at the end of the day, I have one gun and one rifle. I train, and that's my gun and my rifle. What is your gun and what is your rifle?
The one main rifle that I like is the AR-15. 100-round shot.
Okay.
With the scope.
Any special brand that you like? Any special brand that you like of the AR-15?
I really like the Smith & Wesson brand. Smith & Wesson brand is light. They very compact and they very easy to handle and they very accurate.
No, it's true. It's true. I have Smith & Wesson too in the past. I sold it. I have Armalite. I got Bushmaster. But now I need to do my little pitch moment. Gambino, we got to pay bills here, and I'm not like the government or like the Federal Reserve that they don't give you option, okay? They just steal the money from you. I ask. And I always try to put out a good product for people that they're happy and they can come back and out of free will, they can decide if they want to support me. So let me tell you this. I got 60 seconds here. First of all, out there, you may already have a rifle. That's great. But maybe you need another one. Maybe you need to have one to stash away. Maybe you need something that you can say, wait a second, there is a rifle I can buy for half price or even less. Go to freedomrifle.com, www.freedomrifle.com. This is a concept that I created as an act of love more than 1 year ago. I wanted to create a rifle made in the U.S., military grade, that can shoot 5.56 NATO and also 223. But it also can shoot heavier bullets, not just the 55 grains or 62 grains that normally the 5.56 barrel chamber can allow, but also shooting 75 grains that you can have also a little bit more extra, let's say, accuracy and distance, especially when you guys try to shoot heavier bullets, you have a little bit more punch out there. Anyway, I found a great company in Arizona. I'm friend with the owner. The name is called Plum Crazy Generation 2. And there is an indestructible lower that you can see a video on freedomrifle.com. Go to the video sections. And you can see we go with a hammer, 11,000 pounds hammer, over this lower twice on the asphalt. And this lower doesn't even scratch. Okay? Just to give you an idea. I put together the upper. It's a very unique upper made in the U.S. All together, upper and lower. And you have also free magazine. And also you have a free rear sight that is removable since you have a flat top for just $499. And I really believe the most affordable military grade AR-15 for a price of a gun or less. Okay, handgun or less. Plus you get copy of the United States Constitution in parchment, free. Plus you get, of course, the magazine, free magazine, 30 rounds magazine. We're allowed by the law. Rear sight, removable. A T-shirt that I would like to send you a copy as my gift, Gambino. It's called Slaves Are Never Armed. I'm Not a Slave. freedomrifle.com. You got a T-shirt. And then you get a copy of the ebook that I'm writing. It's called How to Become a Rifleman. And then you have a copy of my CD, Don't Tread on Us, that you can download. All this for $499, and you have lifetime warranty on the lower. Think about that. I don't even think Bushmaster or Smith & Wesson does that stuff. And I'm not kidding. This is true. Go to freedomrifle.com, and I tell you, doing that, not just you buy a great rifle that, by the way, it's light, accurate. I have a video. You can go there and watch it by yourself, Gambino, in the video section. I shoot a rifle. This rifle shoots with regular steel case ammo, like the Brown Bear or Wolf. Nothing fancy, okay? 4 minutes of angle out of the box, once it's zero. From prone, no benches, okay? You're able to put your group of 3 or 4 rounds, doesn't matter, in 1 square inch at 25 yards, okay? 1 square inch with iron sight. And then, of course, translated 4 minutes of angle that at 100 yards, you can keep your group in 4 inches. So it's incredible rifle, accurate, It shoots every type of rounds, even the steel case that normally they jam up a little bit in my Bushmaster. And the price is unbeatable. So go to freedomrifle.com. If you have a question, send me an email, and I'll be happy to help you out. Please, if you call from California or states like that, don't waste my time, because two options are, or you are kind of slow, and I'm sorry, I get irritated after a while. You know, if you don't understand, in California, I cannot even talk to you about selling a rifle, okay? Even just talking about it would be enough to probably send me the freaking, thugs uniform at my door, okay? So don't do that. And then if you're, let's say, some sort of a setup, stop it. I don't do that. And on top, I don't sell you directly anything, because it's going to be through an FFL dealer that will ship to you, FFL dealer, everything. So stop doing that. I'm receiving so many calls from California that I'm almost like, well, what the heck? How many setup they're trying to do here, Kind of funny, but not really. So, Gambino, I enjoy your conversation. I enjoy your brain. I enjoy your, let's say, your vitality, the fact that you are not surrendering, the fact that you want to, first of all, stand up, learn, share the information. And that's great. That's really make me feel like, that's for me the spirit of America. That's the spirit of America.
If I surrender, then I'm a slave. And I believe in the Messiah, Jesus Christ, say there is no slaves.
You're right.
No one should obey me. No one should obey no one but me. So.
This is true. Let me tell you something. Normally, I don't talk about religion. I'm a Christian myself, And the reason why, because I respect every religion that respect my religion. So when people say, oh, I respect every religion, no, I respect every religion who respects my religion. And there are some exceptions out there, You know that. I mean, I have no problem, for example, with Buddhists. Normally, Buddhists mind their business, whatever. I don't even have a problem if you're an atheist that you mind your business. I have no problem. But when you have a religion that you try to say, by the way, if you're not my religion, I'll chop your head, I have a problem. So I don't respect you there. Okay? But regardless, I don't impose my beliefs. I don't judge others. I'm a sinner myself. I'm just trying to learn. And I understand, this is what really gives me strength at the end. And you say something very important at the beginning. I really heard you. This is the battle between good and evil. It is beyond politics. It's beyond guns. It is at the end. We've been given a limited time on this planet, in this dimension. Because we have free choice. That's what freedom is about. Because at the end, we can choose between being good people or being bad people. And the point, sometimes people, I didn't do anything. Guess what? Silent is consent. If you don't do anything when somebody is being killed, murdered, or, a crime is happening, I'm sorry. If you don't even open your mouth, you are part of the problem. You made your choice there. So right now, what you're doing is important. You're speaking up. And this can happen to everything. When we see an injustice, towards another fellow American, another human being, or we can see an illegal war, or we can see a baby being aborted without even having the right to defend himself or herself. I mean, that's for me. We need to speak up. That's what it's about. Gambino, I think it's time here before they send you the bill here. Every time I say Gambino, they're going to charge me $5. I know that. The mafia, they're going to send me, what? You use our name without compensation. We'll send you the bill. Okay, do you like Italian food, Gambino?
Yeah, I love Italian food. I love Italian food. I love it. What
is your favorite meal? Any special meal that you can tell me?
The Italian lasagna.
Wow.
Parmesan.
All right. I need to, if you ever come around Moave County, Gambino, I will give you you already have my cell phone probably. Shoot me a phone call a few days before, and I'll prepare you some lasagna homemade, okay? I cook pretty well because I'm the cook at the house. I cook for everybody.
As long as it's good food, I love it.
Okay, and then we go shoot together, okay?
That's a bet.
I got my little range. Listen, Gambino, I'll let you go now. I give you the floor, though. You have 60 seconds, whatever you want to say. If you want to remind your website or your Facebook, how people can reach you out, whatever you want to say, go ahead. 60 seconds, go.
Oh, yes. Yeah, y'all know me now, Cortez Gambino. You can go on my website or my Facebook page, Cortez Gambino, with the anonymous mask. You can look me up on YouTube, Cortez Gambino. Congress Confessions. You can hear the United Nations Congress Confessions. You can hear the All Congress Office Confession, the IRS Congress Confession. I mean, the Rothschild Confessions. I mean, silent weapons. For Quiet Wars, The Top Secret, Confession of the Rothschilds, the documentary that's with them in the United Nations and the United States government. You can reach me at 202-505-7380 if you have any further questions or you feel the need to be educated on anything that you feel like you might not understand.
All right.
It's not on my week.
Okay, Gambino, we have to go now. Ready for our number 3? We're going to have an incredible guest. Please listen because it's going to be very interesting. A lady from Pennsylvania that is being stopped and frisked. And this lady is not black, it's blonde, and she also has big breasts. So maybe that's why she was stopped and frisked without reason. We'll find out. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna. Do not go away.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Can you see? Can you see? Can you see the light? Don't believe the lie. Right, this is your life. Freedom, don't let it die. Right, don't just survive. Rise, it's our time. La 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 la, la 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 la, la la la
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on United States.fm network. Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on KTOX 1340 AM. This is the final hour, the hour about love. I want just to let you know, this is very sad when I realize more and more what's happening to this country, but also what's happening not just in America, but around the world. You know, one thing really defines for me tyranny is when you have a selective enforcement of the law. When you see that there are some citizens or some human beings that are being pretty much treated like slaves, and there is another caste, let's say another group, like a chosen race, or at least like laws do not apply to them. We've seen this today, of course, in America, when we have people like, the Clintons, that they can break every law they want, and they're still not facing any charges. And then, of course, we see when it happens to people like the Bundys or the people that want to protest and peacefully exercise the First Amendment. Even as a journalist, look at Pete Santilli or the other journalists there in the North Dakota pipeline situation, how they can treat it like criminals. And the sad thing, we saw that before. I mean, the breaking news today is that we have proven through the court of law that these people, that they were somehow treated like terrorists. And in Oregon, they were innocent. They were proven innocent. Meanwhile, they spent 7-8 months in jail, treated like criminals, without even having a chance to defend themselves outside. Posting bail, it's a basic part of our rights, especially when you don't have any previous criminal record. I mean, look what they've done. And then, of course, that's the story of today. A selective enforcement of the law, not just when it comes down to the criminal system. As I said, comparing the Clintons and Hillary and all these other politicians that they completely, they are like gods. And then we have us, regular people, just to try to exercise our rights that we treat like criminals and terrorists. But also when it comes down to immigration laws. I mean, guys, listening to my accent, even after 18 years, today pretty much we are almost at my anniversary. 18 years since I came to America. 18 years. So, I think pretty much I can talk about these immigration laws because I've been living on my skin. And I saw with my own eyes what's happening to this country, how there are different set of rules and laws, even supposed to be for everybody. Now, the reality is this. If you're from Europe, if you want to come to America, even just as a tourist, they treat you like you are complete garbage. That's the reality. But if you are one of these groups that somehow the elite wants here, talking about, people from, let's say, third world countries, that they are good slaves. That's why they want them here. Good to vote, shut up, vote for Hillary or whatever next president is going to be, tells you to do, and don't complain too much. And of course, be part of the socialist agenda. They want you here. Then if you're a Muslim and of course you love Obama, you're going to get also a free pass at, probably at Disneyland, and they're going to give you also a free meal, okay? And this is true. I'm not being sarcastic. Look what happened to all these hundreds of thousands of refugees, they want to call them, that Obama let here. They gave me $1,000 Walmart free gift card. $1,000 out of our own pocket. Billions of dollars they've been deprived by our tax dollars and given to these people unvetted, with not even a passport. And we have to pay for their lawyers to get immigration paperwork. Meanwhile, that's why where I'm coming right now, I have friends like my friend from Norway that have been knowing at least since the beginning of the show. This is kind of amazing. He's been on my show since the beginning. Renzo Celani from Norway, even originally from Germany. Even, of course, he's Italian heritage, and he still speaks very good English. It's from Italian. But the point is, he was trying to come here to America just yesterday, a couple of days ago, for sharing his knowledge about his skills. Okay, he does seminars talking about, come here and people want to hear him talking. Think about it. It's not like robbing jobs from Americans or doing things that Americans normally would do, like, cleaning bathrooms or selling cars or stuff like that. No, Renzo is an original guy, and whatever he has to say, it's him. So people like to hear him talking. He could have done this sort of experience also through Skype, but he wanted to come here, enjoy maybe a few days in Colorado. Guess what? Hard to believe. I got the news today when I thought he was still in America. He texted me through Facebook, and he said, by the way, Luca, I'm back to Norway. How that happened? How fast it was? Guess what? Now you're going to listen from his voice the story. Treated like a criminal and sent back immediately to Norway. By the way, this guy, is the most peaceful guy I never heard. I mean, it's really, I'm not because I'm not peaceful, but my speech is a little more, let's put it this way. I think next time I will go to the airport, if Lorenzo got one day in the cell, I may go straight to Guantanamo, according to what things I say. But that point is not about me. It's about Renzo. Let's see Renzo what he has to say in this new experience of America ending with a K, where the rule of law applies only for idiots like us coming from Europe. But for the rest of the world, especially if you're a Muslim or if you come from Mexico, other Southern American countries that you want to vote for socialist, guess what? They treat you completely different. Renzo, are you there?
Hello, Luca. Now we're on the phone because Skype didn't work, but this is much better, I think. So the purpose that why I came to America and why I wanted to come there is in June we had a conference in London, and I was one of the guest speakers, and there was Christopher Shade. He's been a guest speaker as well. Christopher is near Denver, and he's got a big company, and he's producing liposoma medicine, we can say. It's vitamin C, it's glutathione that he's producing. So he makes it available for the body in a different way. So we don't need so much of this as in an orally way that we're taking medicine. And so we became friends, and he invited me to come over. And I said, okay, let's have a look. And my other friend, a dentist from England, he made an appointment when it would be possible to meet. And so we took the plane. When we arrived in America, it was a normal journey. It was a normal flight, everything. And then the passport control was just a little bit different than normal.
Renzo, let me ask you something. Mm-hmm. Which airport, the first, let's say, customs, the landing zone, where was? New York? Where did you land the first time?
No, it was Denver Airport.
Wow. So you went straight to Denver from Norway? What is your last European airport that you left?
It was Oslo to London and London directly to Denver.
Okay. So, and my question is, so you arrived to Denver. What time was that? I'm just curious. It was day, night? When did you arrive?
We arrived in the late afternoon, in the evening time, about 6 o'clock in the evening.
Okay. So you were pretty much a little tired but excited, and when did you have this conference that you're supposed to be the speaker? The day after?
It was not a direct conference. That's what they thought that it was because of that meeting, and it's a kind of friendship. And what we did is, when we met last time, so I must say I never had a mail from Christopher, or I did never send him a mail that he responded, or a telephone call in between. So whatever happened is, a friend of mine, he made the contact and he said, let's fly over. So when we took the plane and we came to the customs, my friend just went through, and when I put my passport to the guy in the Homeland Security, he directly began to make me questions, and the first was, why are you here? And what's your reason to be in the United States? And I said, fun was my answer, just to meet a friend.
Yeah.
And then he asked me, so it's fun, and so directly it was within 1 minute he went directly like, who are you going to treat? And I was like, what?
Treat?
I'm going to treat no one. People. If people don't know me, just to introduce myself, my name is Renzo Celani. People in 2003 they found out that I have healing abilities, and it was not me to find out. And so I began in 2007 to work with doctors in the United States, in Germany, in England, and so they found out that there was something different with me, so that I could see things, that I could feel things, and I could even do in special labs testings that were not done before. So these people directly my name on the list or something, because the questions were so direct on who are you going to treat, are you going to make new products with this guy? It was a direct line to something that was not induced before.
Wow. So they pretty much, let's remind to humanity, because, this is not a secret. You can do whatever you want, in my opinion, when people want your help, okay? And especially, this is like, as I said, for me it's a private contract. If I believe in what you're doing, regardless, I'm not even want to know now. The point, if I want your help, it's my job and my duty and my freedom to ask for your help. But regardless, you were there to pretty much exercise your First Amendment, to at least talk with people about things that you do. But regardless, the fact that they have a file on you, and, you never been deported, right? I mean, you came to America previously, right or wrong?
I came often to America.
Yeah.
And I've been normal in America and staying there with friends.
Yeah.
Enjoying the time.
Never had a problem like you being arrested or criminal things, correct? And I know that, but I want to just double check, correct?
Never happened before.
Okay. So out of the blue, for what I understand, they start with these questions, very specific questions, like who are you going to heal? I mean, first of all, they must have a file on you. They must know who you are. That's the freaky things that really freaks me out. I mean, first of all, they got it wrong, in my opinion, for what you were doing there, but regardless. So how did they ended up this conversation? Because normally, I remember that normally they used to ask me questions too when I used to come back from Italy. And that's when you just, the guy standing up behind the shelf or behind the table, and you show the passport and they say, ask you, why did you come here? You said, for fun. Then I'm sure he evolved the situation. It evolved to another room. Where did they send you after?
The thing is, the questions were directly from their side. What I did is, I went to America because a friend of mine said, let's go over and visit Chris. Mm-hmm. So we did that, and we took the plane, and I didn't know if there was something, if there was a meeting, or if there was something that he took some people together for the weekend maybe. So I was out of that story. And maybe there was something or there was nothing, so we didn't know. Mm-hmm. And when we arrived to the border control, then in that moment it was a little bit tickling. The whole air was different. It was like someone has pointed the finger on you directly. Mm-hmm. The situation was that I have some things for like the mirrors that I'm producing and this in my luggage. But I pick them up in Germany and I bring them to the people when I build them together. I write invoices from Norway. So when I arrived there, I had some stuff with me of these mirrors that we are using for treatments as well. So it is a kind of a reproduction of my healing hands.
One second.
When these people began to do the questioning,
Renzo, 1 second only. You say a mirror. I mean,
a little bit something that I never felt before.
Yeah.
So like you said, like you're on a list.
Yeah.
That someone tries to find out and directly bring you in a certain way. The thing is, the whole story. They picked me up. They brought me in a special room where they made the questions, and there was other people sitting. One was from Palestine, and then they picked up my friend as well because he went through the customs, and then he was waiting for me in the front because he didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
So then they picked him up as well, and he's a dentist, a well-known dentist in London. So when they picked him up, they checked his luggage as well, like my luggage, and so they picked up some test kits, and everything what they could say was, oh, this is illegal, this is illegal, this is illegal.
Oh,
but everything what we are wearing on our body or what we have in our luggage was illegal things.
Oh my God.
So it was test kits produced from certain companies in England or in America, and they were totally legal. The question was directly, oh, you're going to make some new products, some new medication with this guy like Chris. And I said, no, this is not in the plan. I don't know anything about this one, and I don't know if that would happen. But you are going to stay in his lab. And I say, yes, maybe. I don't know what the plan is for the week or for the weekend. You know, I had no schedule or nothing to do. And when they asked me, who are you going to treat? I said, I don't have a schedule. I don't know what's going on. So maybe I'm treating some family members, but this is friendship. So I'm allowed to put hands on people. Yeah, like people ask me, could you help me? Then if I'm able to help them, okay, then I do it. It's some people call it a gift. Some people say something different, but it's nothing that I have learned in school.
Renzo, let me 1 second, Renzo. I need to everybody understand the basic because I want to be sure it's clear. First of all, you had with you in your luggage a little mirror, correct? I mean, it's like a piece of glass. Am I right or wrong? What do you have?
That thing that I had with me is optical benches for America.
All right.
It's a metal plated mirror, which is like gold, silver, or aluminum.
Yeah.
And in front of that is a pole filter, a polarized filter.
Yeah.
And this all is inside of a mirror holder, we can say. In the moment that you are emitting light, every living being, like a plant or a human or an animal, is emitting light.
Yeah.
So that little mirror, 3-4 compounds, is able to separate chaotic light from balanced light, from linear, polarized light, from coherent light. So in that moment, we are only reinforming the body with its own best.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what is happening with the mirrors. So nothing else.
So let me stop you 1 second because this is so important. I want to understand American people. At what level are we? Regardless you believe or not what Renzo said. And by the way, there is science behind. I've been following him, really scientific proofs. But regardless, even if you think this is hocus pocus, okay? We are talking about now, we have Homeland Security, where they're supposed to do the real job, stop really the real threats. They start, of course, in my opinion, in Washington, D.C. They should arrest the people starting from Obama, but that's another story. They are stopping somebody because they had a little mirror in his luggage, because they are afraid that with this little mirror, somehow, we're going to create a public threat to Americans. This is what is really ridiculous. Seriously. Now, the fact that you said, you're a healer, that's what you do. You heal people with your hands. People may believe it or not, that's fine. But the point is, if I am now in America not allowed to put my hands to another person with his or her consent, okay? Let's say somebody come to me, can you put your hands on me? I give you $50. I'll do it for free, okay, if you're cute. But it's okay. Let's say that I put my hands on you, and now that's a criminal act. Because that's what it is. You're not using any type of chemicals. You're not using any type of drugs. You just put the hands on people. People, they want your hands on them, correct? Am I right or not?
When you put the hands on people and you don't take money, it's no problem. The thing is, what they did say in the end of after the night in the jail and other things, what they've put me, then they said that with the Easter permission to come to America, it wasn't right if someone would have taken for a meeting or something, would have taken money. Even if I wouldn't have taken any money, if I would have talked to the people without taking anything. So I just appear on my own cost. I pay my own hotel. I pay my own flight.
Yeah.
And if there is a group of people coming together that I didn't know before, like 10 people or 20 people, and if they would pay $200 for this meeting, and the hotel cost would be covered for the meeting room and for the food, that is not possible to do, they say. So I needed a special visa. I needed a special permission, maybe, or something else. But you start in Germany. You don't know what is happening. You're going to meet a friend to take some beer and a steak, and to be just 5-6 days together. And so from that view of point, something is wrong.
Oh yeah, and they had a lot of. I mean, the point that scares me out here. They were pretty much accurate. At least they dig a lot of information about you, who you are, what you do normally in your life. I mean, like you're a regular guy. You have no criminal record. It is like a movie like The Matrix, when they sit you down on the table and agent, what is his name, with the one with the sunglasses, and they start to put all your file of your life in front of you. I mean, that's scary. And you're not even an American citizen. You come from another country. They have all this information on you. I mean, this is ridiculous. And then, of course, you want to talk about being so meticulous about throwing the book at you. Okay, oh yeah, you cannot have a meeting, you cannot have a lunch together, all this stuff. Meanwhile, we have illegal aliens crossing every day by thousands our borders, especially our southern borders, and the Obama administration says, pretty much give the orders to the border patrols to let them go. I mean, that's what is disgusting, okay? They are very meticulous with you. I wish they were half meticulous with the same, applying every rule we have to also all the other people that they try to come here. By the way, you came here with a visa, you came here with a passport, you came here with an airplane, you came here with an invitation. There are people that come here crossing the border and they are not even invited, they don't even have a passport. Let me play 1 second this little part, because I'm still in shock. I'm seriously talking, this is ridiculous on every level. Let me play this one second. This is the Border Patrol Vice President. Obama has done everything he possibly can to stop us from doing our job when it comes down to illegal aliens and Muslims. Here, listen. Okay, what happened here? What's that? Okay.
National Border Patrol Council Vice President Sean Moran told Fox News that Obama's administration is hindering border security.
President Obama has done everything he possibly can through policy to restrict Border Patrol agents from doing their jobs, and it does not make this country safer. It in fact, does the opposite. It makes the border more vulnerable, and we're seeing that.
Moran also said a proposed Trump border wall would do little to thwart committed criminals.
I don't think a wall is going to stop it. It's like being an assassin. If you are committed enough, you are going to commit your crime, and that includes crossing the border. So the southern border is porous enough that if you try hard enough and you are willing to do what it takes, you will get across that border.
Just last month, Arizona Sheriff Paul Babu of Pinal County also said Obama's administration is handcuffing Border Patrol agents.
What we see from this administration, from the Obama administration, is an actual reduction at a time we should be providing more support to secure our border. And we have seen 1,500 Border Patrol agents that are mandated by Congress that are not being hired, and we see a submission of another 300 Border Patrol agents that are being cut. And this administration literally has handcuffed them from doing their job. They have a leader, and Commissioner Gil Kurlikowski, who says that if they don't agree, and our heroes in the Border Patrol don't agree with the Obama administration and this lawlessness that's happening, that they can go find another job. So this is a complete sham. So the fact that the president is saying, well, this is our process, basically it's de facto amnesty, because there's no consequence, there's no enforcement of the law, and there is no tracking of where that person is.
Okay, here I disagree. There is an enforcement of the law. It's called selective enforcement, number one. And it's called, of course, so yes, they also know where the person is from. Look at you, coming from Norway. They know how many times probably you wash your face in the morning. I mean, how many times you drink your coffee. I mean, this is exactly the reality, Renzo. We are living in a bananas republic. We are living in a place that is called tyranny at this point, because when you selectively enforce the law, and by the way, they didn't not even enforce the law with you. They threw the book at you. They threw the book at you. They completely went beyond what the law is supposed to be, in my humble opinion, okay? Because I've been doing this, as a former immigrant, I've been through to these bastards many times. And what they've done to you, it's pretty much, for me, I never heard about that. Seriously. This is unheard. How did you go to your experience at night? Did they give you a good meal, good bed, or did you sleep on the floor? How did it go?
That's a good question. But we must just begin from the beginning. Yes. When I arrived, I was not thinking like doing something wrong. Okay, this is number one. Number two is I did not think about writing an invoice or taking money in my pocket to come back. Okay, so this is another one. So the declaration that they gave is you are not allowed to enter the United States because of there is a seminar going on and other things are going on. So I was not I didn't know about what was coming in the next days. So I expected that there were coming some people together because there were some friends. They wanted to fly in from New Jersey and from other places and from Florida. So when we would sit together, if we would sit together for 1 or 2 days and doing something, that was for me all like a friendship meeting, like a friend meeting, and having some beer and some steaks. So on that point, for me, it was a normal journey, like fun, being with people, like private meeting, okay? In that moment, what they said is, if someone takes money from the public, I'm not allowed to go and to speak, even if I don't take anything. So that was one. In the moment that they checked me, they found my website, they found other things, they took the cell phone of my friend, they found written some things about costs and other things, so they checked everything through. When they took us in the end, there was an FBI agent, I think.
FBI agent? Oh my God.
Yeah, federal. And so then he made some questions and I explained him, I said, hey, listen, I said, whatever question you do, we come all times to the same point. I said to him, the point is, I am not someone that learned somewhere to become a healer. I'm not, it just came to me, and so in that moment I began to treat people. I came into that story because of my father who was dying and all this stuff. So whatever I do, I had a company before, and I sold the company, my part. And so I didn't pick up more than €1 for that part and my money that I've put in the company. So I took my own money out, and I traveled around the world with my own money, and I even gave money to people who had less than me, or they couldn't afford the medicine or other things that were right to take. So from that point, I had no doubt on myself. So this guy then stood up and said, okay, they're going to make you some other questions and make you sign some documents. So we arrived back in the front, then we had to sit down, and then they said, so we're going to bring you to another place to spend the night. So they took a chain, they put a chain around our belly, and then they got our clothes, the manette in Italian.
Handcuffs, F-cuffs, like a criminal. They put you the handcuff,
yes, of course,
and they chain like you are a freaking slave. I mean, seriously.
Of course.
You are with no record, and I tell you, I'm not trying to be sarcastic. If you are an illegal alien, if they put a chain on you, probably you would have sued. I mean, they would have given you lawyers to sue back. This is so disgusting. I tell you, I feel disgusted by whoever is doing this. Also for the people that, unfortunately, are the low-level slaves, they're enforcing these laws, that they are not even laws. This is like a selective enforcement. I mean, so you got loaded up like a criminal to another facility with a chain around your belly and handcuffed. And they know, by the way, that you are not criminal, as they know that what you do in your country, you're a healer. by the way, you use your hands to help other people. The point is they know that you don't commit robberies. You know that you're not a violent person. I mean, God willing, probably because we were Facebook friends, I wouldn't be surprised you get an extra 5 points down, I mean, seriously. They should be worried about the real criminals, not like people like you. So where did you go exactly? How far from the airport? Where did they load you up?
Then they took us like, take care was for the stairs, and they were holding us, and so they were guiding us and holding us all the time. Into a van. The van was really low, so you had to go inside, and the vans, you must step up to the van. So in front of that, in Italian it's called a cascia. It's a plastic thing that you put in front of the van like a step. Yeah. That one was just standing there, and it was a little bit dangerous to get on that one, but we managed. So we sit down, and they close the seat belts, and then they were driving like half hour or 40 minutes. They were driving to Boulder from Denver, and it was quite far. And then we had to turn around, and then we went into a kind of jail. So there were some of these gates opening and closing behind us, in front of us, and so they brought us inside, and then step here, don't move, and don't do this, and don't do that, and you were not allowed to do a step aside of what is normal. So they took the stuff off, the chain, and then they gave us a room, which was, inside was only concrete. So you had to sit down on concrete, and they said, okay, these guys here will not bring you into the department where the other prisoners are, but you're going to stay in the medical department, so you don't get involved with the other guys. Okay, that one was okay. So we waited, and we thought, okay, next half an hour, maybe they're going to give us a room where we can close the eyes and sleep to the next morning. But that didn't happen. That was around 9:40 in the evening. And at 2:30 in the morning, we got our bed after taking off our clothes and getting prisoners' clothes. And in the meantime, a friend of mine, he asked the people, could we have some water or something to eat? And so they gave us not water, they gave us a paper bag, and inside of the paper bag was like a little box of milk. So I don't drink milk. Oh my number God. One. And
wait a second.
There was a lemon inside.
Renzo, stop. 1 second before you go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you, but this is disgusting. I mean, you're talking about basic human rights that normally, I think, even in the Convention of Geneva, if you have a prisoner of war, he needs water, you give him water, for God's sake, okay? And you're not even a criminal, because technically you've never been convicted of anything. We're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and they may have made a big mistake, and they're treating you like probably worse than the freaking hardcore criminal, in my opinion. This is ridiculous. Continue. I'm freaking out. Continue. If I didn't know you, I wouldn't believe it, honestly. Go ahead.
So they gave us this paper bag with this milk inside, and I don't drink milk. Then there was 2 sandwiches inside, and my friend, he's not a Christian, so he doesn't eat all of these meat things, we can say. And inside, next to it was a lemon. I don't know who of these guys in the prison is getting a lemon without a knife, without anything, a normal raw lemon, like picked from the tree. And how are you supposed to eat a lemon in a room where there is nothing else than just a toilet? You can wash your hands
like an animal.
You're sitting on concrete, and it was cold in there. So my jacket, when I asked for my jacket in the airport, and I wanted to put a pullover on, they said, oh, wait with the pullover a few minutes. And then I put the pullover on, and then they said, put your jacket in the hand luggage. So we didn't know where we were going, if it was warm or cold or something. So I left my jacket behind. Sure. So in that room, it was cold, it was concrete. When you sit down, you must pee every 2 minutes because your bladder gets really, really tight somehow. And even for 2 drops, you must go to toilet. So in the next 4.5, 5 hours, we went to toilet continuously, just because sitting down and not standing around for 5 hours.
And you had no water, meanwhile, right? No water, just a little milk, correct?
Yeah, and then they came, after asking again, then they came with some cups, this styropor cups, this polystyrolo. They came over with these cups, and then they said, you can take the water there. It's drinkable water, so you can drink it from the tap where you're washing your hands, you know.
Oh, great.
Next to the toilet. And so, we tried that water, but it was like disgusting. It was chloride and fluoride maybe inside. Oh,
yeah, I'm sure they gave you extra medication. If you're in prison, I mean, that's a fact. They test stuff on you. They're already doing this fluoride in the cities. Okay, and chlorine, you know, with pretty much federal mandates. Imagine if you are in a federal prison or in a prison like that. My God, they would do experiments on you, for God's sake. I'm telling you, this is really unbelievable. It is hard to believe. You were there as a tourist. I mean, my God, continue, because I'm freaking out for real now. I'm not going to travel anymore. Go ahead.
That's what I thought. I'm a tourist going to meet a friend.
Yeah.
And then we end up in jail, and in the meantime, they asked us to come over to another room. The guy was really kind, and he said, I must do this medical check. So he measures us, how high we were, how much we weighed, the blood pressure, and it was perfect, and everything was calm. You know, the pulse was calm and everything. So, and then he says, okay, you must sign here because of this and this. And then there was another signature we had to give. In case you get a headache or something, then they are allowed to treat you. And I said, I don't give you this signature. And he said, okay, why not? And I say, I don't want any medication of you guys, whatever it is. I'm going to survive by myself. So I didn't sign that document.
Yeah. Just leave me alone. And, send me back home.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with that.
Yeah, of course.
My God.
Just give me a place where I can close a few hours my eyes, and the next morning this guy should come and pick me up and bring me back to the airport where I can get my plane back home.
Shoot.
So
that's the scary part. You never know.
Yeah, then we went back into the cell there, into that room, and then after another hour or something, then they gave us some clothes in another room, so we had to get undressed of our clothes. We gave them back like a normal prisoner, and they gave us this prison clothes and for sleeping, so we had to make our bed, and me and my friend, we could stay in one of the rooms. And then next thing was, it was 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Every half hour, someone knocked on the door. It wasn't that you could sleep the next 3, 4, 5 hours or something. No, someone knocked on the door. And okay, I lifted up my hand and I thought, oh, it must be 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock when the breakfast is coming. But it was not happening. So it was like knocking, then you close your eyes. It was like knocking, and you close your eyes. And inside of the cell, there was all times this little light on. So it was all times some light on. There was never dark, you know. And then at 5 o'clock in the morning, someone opened the door and gave us some food. Okay, breakfast.
What did you eat? I'm curious. What is the Grand Hotel Excelsior? What did they offer you on our tax dollar? What did you get?
It was a little cup of this plastic cups, and it was coffee. But the coffee wasn't warm or wasn't hot or something. It was like a temperature that you don't even wash yourself.
Probably it was dirty water from the kitchen. Continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. Then when we opened the plate, it was the plate had a kind of lid, and when we opened the plate, I had to close it immediately and put it aside because it was stinking. It was really, really stinking. It was. I'm sorry for the guys in the kitchen that were doing the job, but it was really stinking, and so I just pushed it aside.
Okay, what did it look like? I'm just curious because we're paying probably $50 for the breakfast. Believe it or not, that's pretty.
What it looked like, you know, from the other conversations we had, I had chicken and ducks and other animals in my garden. And when you give them some food, whatever comes out in the back, that was what it looked like.
Oh my God!
And it was stinking. I tell you, it was somehow that I had to close the lid because otherwise in the room we couldn't stay.
You know what is sad? I think even people that have been convicted of a crime, there's even, of course, there are different levels of crimes. Yes, they need to do their time. They need to pay there's some sort of they need to pay the consequences, but still they need to be treated humanly. You cannot treat them with eating garbage, okay? At least give them normal meal. I'm not talking about anything special, but give them something that they can at least don't get in sick, and you cannot treat them like animals. But my point is, you are not even being convicted of nothing. You are still innocent, and I want to remind this to everybody because we didn't have even a trial on you. You didn't break any law. At least you have never been found guilty. So you are there somehow waiting for just going back home in this sort of, let's say, bureaucratic nightmare called Homeland Security that have selective enforcement. and they pretty much torture you. Because number one, I'm not trying to be dramatic, it's true. I deserve to sleep, okay? I mean, if you wake me up every 30 minutes, it's called sleep deprivation. If I do that for a week, you go crazy. That's how they torture people. Sleep deprivation, you're going to go crazy. I know it was just a night, but that was something really, it was undue. They didn't have to do it on you, seriously. They don't have to do it on anybody, honestly. Even if you're convicted, you stay in prison, shut up, go to sleep, and see you tomorrow morning. Number one. Number two, for God's sake, I mean, this garbage that they need to feed you, and you know that we paid big bucks for everything they give you. This is not like they were getting stuff for free, okay? That's ridiculous. That's really a crime. And give me at least a little freaking water that doesn't stink like a chemical farm. But so finally, what time did they wake you up for breakfast? 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you said?
Yeah, it was around 5 when they like 2.5 hours later after we went to in that room, and we found sleep at maybe 3, so every half an hour waking up. Yeah. And at 5 o'clock they gave us this coffee kind of thing, and so then we had every half hour after that we had time to 9 o'clock, and around 9 o'clock someone came and they say, okay, in 20 minutes they're gonna pick you up.
Wow.
So they gave us a bag that we had to put our sheets in and the stuff, and like you are making your room, and okay, we fixed that stuff and we brought it out. We got our clothes back, and it took some time, and then we were waiting another hour, an hour 20. But it was in another room with concrete, cold as well, like it was the night before. And then someone came to pick us up. They put again the chain around us, and they fixed our hands. And so going back, like, don't do the step before I tell you, and like criminals. And I said to someone, I said, hey, we are not so dangerous, guys. We're not so dangerous. And someone said to me, yeah, that's why I'm worried. And I was like, okay, if you're worried because I'm not dangerous, then whatever happens,
Oh, my God. I mean, this is a psycho all the way. I mean, seriously. I mean...
Yeah, so they brought us back to the airport, and on the airport they had to stay with the car, where they had to stay on the other side of the road of the entry. So then they said, okay, get out of here, stop here, I will hold you by passing on the road. And so they kept our arms, and... Then we went through into the building until we found a seat where to sit down. So it was like a 4 or 5 minutes walk, and so they kept us like you say, like criminals. And it was not that we were able to walk by ourselves. And then we sit down, and then if you do a wrong movement, like, hey, don't move, don't stay up, don't do this, don't do that. It was like a continuously ordering of things. Okay, they can have some guys which are dangerous or whatever. But if you look at us, there was a dentist who is a well-known dentist, and if I would tell you what the where he's involved with and whatever, the Council of Research in England with a guy called Prince Charles and other things, the history of this guy and whatever should show them that this guy is not dangerous, And if you look in my history, I don't know what they find, but okay, they found something that they didn't like. We got our freedom, if you call it like this. We got it back, then we asked for a coffee or something else after a while, or for a cigarette, because we are both smokers, and after 2 days, they said, no, it's not possible to smoke,
Of course.
So then, it wasn't possible to smoke before, not after, because from the moment that we have started from London or from Oslo, we were not able to have a cigarette. So they were able to go and get some coffee for us, so we paid the coffee, and they went to get us some coffee, so thank you for the guys who did it. And then in the afternoon, we asked them if they could go and get us some food. In between, they offered us some food. Some of the guys were really nice, and they offered us some food, even if they were a little bit skeptic about, they were watching left and right what the boss is going to say about it. But they offered us some food, and it was quite okay what we could eat in the airport. And so in the end, they brought us after I would say that was like 11 o'clock when we arrived, and then it was about 7 o'clock they took us to the plane. not through the TSA, but they were brought us direct to the plane, and then someone gave us a little explanation of why we were in that situation. With allowing us to come to America with Easter. But we must say, Italians were the first one to sign a contract with America that we don't need a visa anymore. Okay? Mm-hmm. That was the first thing.
Yeah.
Then after that it was Germany and other countries. So with the Easter coming out, I didn't know what was the difference for me. That is like a kind of visa that you're going to visit some friends. And that's why I went over. And then they said, if there is something that you are going to talk in a conference, in a seminar, or somewhere else, and if someone of these guys would take some money for that, even to cover just the cost, like $10 here, $10 there, whatever it is, you are not allowed to do that. So before something happened, they decided that this will not gonna happen.
This is the freaky part. You're right. This is like, Minority Report. They make you criminal before even you commit the crime. Let's say, for example, by the way, this is just my opinion. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard, okay? Because as I said, we have criminals jumping the fence every day, real criminals, gang members, we have drug dealers, drug cartels in the southern borders by thousands every night. And this is the war, it's about you, that by the way, you're a great guy, but regardless, they know that you have no criminal record. That's they can find out. Just because you want to speak for a couple of days to a crowd, now that's a crime. But the point is exactly, let's say they give you a warning. Let's say, by the way, Mr. Renzo, you cannot do that. But you did not commit a crime yet. You were still, by the way, a tourist flying and going through a customs. And by the way, my humble opinion, I'm not a lawyer. One time I went through something similar like yours, and they started to ask me this question, okay? And you know what I told them? Of course, I have a little edge. I just became a citizen. None of your freaking business. Okay? I'm here. I'm back home. Leave me the freak alone. That's what I told them. Of course, I've been held 3 hours in the room with the bad guys, but that's another story. You are there as a tourist. You were trying to be respectful. And unfortunately, I think you gave him too many information. That's my humble opinion. And that's why, we have something called pleading the fifth. Even the freaking Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, the communist, just a few days ago, in front of Congress, she doesn't want to answer about the corruption scandal with the Hillary in the emails. She pleaded the fifth. That's what you should have told him. I plead my fifth. As a human being, I plead my Fifth Amendment. Scumbags that they are. I tell you, I'm really upset about this one because I cannot believe it's happening, but it is happening. And this can happen to you, can happen to my brother, can happen to our friends, can happen to the rest of us. This is not just for the foreigners. We are treated all the same now. We all treated like slaves. And that's the sad thing. We are all criminals before even we commit the crime. This is the new police, thought police. My dear Lord, help us. Like 1984, it's a kindergarten movie compared to what's happening right now to us. It's nothing. My God, when did you have a chance to get back on your plane? Did you have to pay an extra ticket or you were able to use your own ticket? I'm just curious.
No, then there is a thing that the airline must pay it. And so they normally take the ticket the way when you normally go back, mm-hmm. they change the ticket. So the airline must pay because they allowed you to get on the plane coming to America. And if they don't allow you to come in, then they must take care to bring you back. And that was the only positive thing because I never entered the plane as the first one before the first class. So we were able to enter the plane, mm-hmm. the jumbo, before all these first class people and everybody else with the wheelchairs and everything. So we had the whole plane for us, Wow. That was the only thing. But they gave the passport to the stewardess, and they said, well, when you're up, you can give it back to them. So we got the passport about 40 minutes before we landed in London. We got our documents back, and some of the stewardess that we have talked to during the flight from London to Denver, they said, what are you guys doing here? And we said, yeah, we got refused. And they say, you guys got refused?
Yeah.
That's not possible.
Yeah, it is
and
possible.
I said, yeah, it happened,
Yeah.
So that was the thing. But like you say, we were like tourists going to visit a friend, okay? Even if we wanted to give like a chance to people to let them know what we are doing, to bring them on the way, or in that moment, nothing has happened when we arrived.
Exactly.
So if
Exactly.
that appointment wouldn't have happened,
nothing
would have happened at all. So why are they treating you before everything is happening like this? So in that moment, I said, like, okay, you get involved in something, even if it will never happen, or the chance is big that it will never happen. You get involved in something, you're a criminal, or you're gonna get treated in a way that is not normal. You know, the land of the freedom it was, but that is no freedom. That's really a difficult thing.
Let me tell you something. You know, I'm here, and I understand like you do, because I live it also right now on this other side. We are right now, for sure, not just today, by the way, guys. This didn't happen just yesterday. It's been a long process. We are no more the land of the free, home of the brave. We are land of the free, home of the slaves. And when I'm saying that, not because I want to bring America down, no, because I want to take it back. Because it's our duty, it's our fault that we let it happen like this. The Republicans, they were guilty. The Democrats are guilty. When Bush started all the Patriot Act and all this freaking, Homeland Security crap, and the Democrats continue. Both of us, both parties have been responsible. It's time to stop, realize, admit it. We have a big problem. We've been taken over. We are under tyranny. And as I said, tyranny means also selective enforcement of the laws. When you realize that there is no more the rule of law, but there is a selective enforcement of the law and more. They throw the book at you if you're just a regular person. They don't just enforce the law. And more important now, with you prove the case. They are breaking the law because they are enforcing laws before even you break the law. For God's sake, if that doesn't make you get, somehow cringes on your back, chills on your back. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. By the way, today's show, I already made it, but I had to restart it again because this is a complete breaking news. I think it's one of the most important things because, like happened to you, Renzo, probably it's happening to thousands of other people. And I tell you right now, the scary thing, it is not just what they do, but how they do it. Because the fact that they were able to get information about you that you never had any criminal record, you never had any type of experience. On top, you come from another country, like Norway, and they know so much about you. This is the true proof that we are living a new world order, and we are under 1994 on steroids. They can have access to everything you do, okay? And I'm sure they're going to listen to this interview, and I hope they can listen very well. Because for the low-level people, they are working for their paycheck. Say, guys, I feel sorry for you. Go find another job. Go sell peanuts on the streets. It's much more honorable. You're working for the Gestapo out there. Homeland Security is the freaking Gestapo. That's my humble opinion. I tell you that. Luca-zanna, nobody else is responsible, just me. Number two, for the upper levels who are following the orders from the bastard from Kenya called Obama, the New World Order puppet that is trying to stop people coming from Europe. And all he wants, the selective, people that he wants, that's a shame on you guys. You're following the orders. Guess what? Even under Nuremberg trial, you follow the orders, you're going to be guilty one day in front of God, in front of the justice system. We will get this country back somehow. Renzo, I'm very sorry because honestly I didn't tell you. I was almost planning to go to Colorado, not by airplane, of course, because I don't want to step my foot on a TSA. But I was going to jump in my Mustang and get out there in few hours, probably 15 hours drive, whatever. But I was ready to come for a weekend. But I'm glad I found out about this. That's kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, because when I left, I wrote you that I'm going, and you said okay, let's have a look how long it will take me, and I was feeling that there would be a surprise that you would come over, like a friend, not attending a seminar that we get paid or something. And
screw them.
Let me tell the other thing. There is like me, a tourist coming over. Okay, the border control stops everybody, Homeland Security. Then they give you the chance to talk, but they only force you in a certain direction. They only search a certain direction. So in that moment, even if they find nothing, they refuse you because there is a problem that they say, okay, we think that if that would happen, what we are thinking, then you are a criminal. So that's one.
Yeah.
Now, you go into the night, into jail or whatever. So they give you the possibility to have a shower there. Like my friend in the morning, he said, okay, they gave us some soap, some soap to have a shower in case we wanted to have a shower. So I said to him, don't take your socks off and your shoes. And he said, what? I'm going to have a shower. I say, don't do that. You don't know what you're finding here, what kind of bugs you're going to bring back, you know.
Oh
and
my God!
So we didn't have a shower. So we gave our stuff that they gave us for the night. We gave it back to them, undies and everything, because we were to undress naked, and they gave us the stuff. So we had to take our stuff again on. So in the day. In the next day that we spent in the airport until the evening that we had our flight back, because there is only evening flights back, we had our stuff on. So from the moment that I left Oslo and I came back to Oslo, I had only my stuff on that I had on. So no chance to change undies or something else. And I tell you, it felt a little bit dirty. It felt a little bit.
It's disgusting. No, it's disgusting. I tell you, I wouldn't treat like that my dogs, okay? My dogs are treated much better, by the way. Listen, I would like to give the chance, just because, for the listeners, to know more about you. You have a website out there. I mean, these scumbags, Homeland Security already know you. That's fine. Guess what? Let's give the rest of humanity to see what type of human being you are. What you've been doing is just something that I tell you, I know now why you're so dangerous. Because you are opening opportunities to people to think, first of all, using their brain and having a chance to understand that there is not just a big pharma mafia out there from the pharmacological industry to find healing. There are other ways, and it's our rights as human beings to find a way how we damn want to heal ourselves. If I want to have somebody putting their hands on me, you know what? It's my right. Screw you, Homeland Security. Don't tell me I'm going to heal myself. Okay? And I don't care if this guy is coming from Mars or he's coming from Norway. It's my freaking right. Okay, now let me give you the floor. You have 1 minute. Give every information how people they want to reach you if they want to reach you. Go ahead.
So my name is Renzo Celani, and there is a website that people can find on the internet. Another thing that came out last year was, I just call it Father. Some people say God, some people say Allah, some people say Jehovah, whatever it is. And I asked a question, and one night I was in the bathroom, in the bathtub, and then there came a picture. So I followed the picture, and then I built some mirrors together. Building that mirrors together, something has changed in my life, because I was nearly dying for 3.5 years. I was really, really, really sick, and I couldn't detox anymore. After the chemtrails came to Norway in a really heavy spraying season, we could say, I got into a rain shower, which was really, really poisoned, we can say. We found out later that 2 kilometers far away, like 1.5 miles far away, it was 3.9 pH. So that was no normal rainwater. Rainwater is different things. And not even in the heavy acid rain time of Germany, when the whole Black Forest got poisoned and died, not even this 3.9 reached that level there. It was 4.7, 4.2, you know. So I got into one of these rain showers, and I got really, really sick, so I didn't recover, and I had to wash my blood 10 times with a special double membrane apheresis treatment to survive for 3.5 years. So when I used the mirrors first time on a patient, I got the same treatment, I found out. And in the same moment, I began to pee different. When I went to toilet, my pee was yellow, orange, stinking, so I began to detox again. So we used it on patients, and the patients had so good results that it was amazing for some people in the medical side. So there is a lot of doctors which jumped on that possibility of treating the patients differently now, and some of them even changed the whole treatment on 80%. From injections, from medications to the mirror treatment. So we can de-stress the body. We can do a lot of things what was not possible yesterday, the day before the mirrors, we can say. And I think that there is a big possibility for the future for the people, but there is even a big change in the medical and pharmaceutical side. I think we're not really welcome in this world right now. I don't know what to say by myself. It's nicer when other people talk about someone than yourself are talking about yourself. But one thing is for sure. Life will change.
I have 20 seconds, Renzo, 20 seconds. I want to bring you back, please, one more time your website if you can.
RenzoCelani.com. RenzoCelani.com.
Okay, listen, Renzo, I'm sorry you had to go through this, but I'm glad you're back home in one piece, and we will talk more about this. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. We need to awake when Americans. We are screwed. Simple as that. Okay, we need to take it back. You've been listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna. If you want to support the show, you know what? Go to zanna.us. There is my new ebook for $2.99 on Amazon. I appreciate it. That's the way I can put this show out every week without being censored. Thank you very much. Don't go away. Go away if you want. Talk to you next Sunday, God's willing. Ciao.